All right. Big holiday weekend kickoff starting right here with the BadgeBros. We're going to have friends of the Discord rolling through. But first things first, we got to start with the most electric story. I was not fully familiar with this on Monday when we did the Battle Royale recap, but we got to talk about Best Ball Enjoyer calling his shot. If he wins a BR, he's going to buy a Hyundai. And now he's posting all over the internet the Hyundai in which he bought after shipping the Battle Royale. So shout out to Tyler. This is the most electric story going right now, to keep none of the money on the site, to not keep grinding the ecosystem, but to just go financial advisor and get a low interest rate on a Hyundai with his big win. It's great stuff, boys. It is great stuff. Well, there we go.
Yeah, there's our guest of honor. Sort of. There we go. There he is.
There we go.
Got so many damn custom overlays. That is so sick though. I mean, I saw you got a sub-3 interest rate. Like, that is, you can't beat that.
The fact that we went from like that's
crazy
from a guy, interest rates. Like, what the hell?
From a guy that just bought a car. That's pretty nice. So I would love that.
Oh, love it. All right. First things first, our guest here, Oaks. You guys know him as Red Mamba in the Discord. Long time coming to have you on, Oaks. This is great. I think the pressing question for everyone right off the top for you is, Neumy, the worst hire or second worst hire that Underdog has ever made?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Honestly, I saw your message last night in the Discord, and I thought it was really like, can I get a pulse check on if people are going to be around? Should I even stream or not? Like, drop a badge if you're like gonna like watch. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch. So I dropped a badge, and then I got a DM from you, and I was like, hey, you want to jump on? I was like, I guess so. I'm not a front of the camera guy, so but yeah, why not? So here I am. But yeah, no, Neumy is besides messing up the NBA slates yesterday, that's the only thing that he's really done wrong so far. He's been awesome. I think it's not to toot his horn too much, but I think there's like direct correlation to when him and Hope started, and you can see the size of the contest, the variety that they're pumping out. We haven't really ever had anyone whose like main focus was just to make draft games fun and cool and pump out as much as we can. And it's obviously been helpful to have them doing it. They've obviously been on the other side of it as a player, and they know what customers want. So yeah, they've done a great job with it so far.
Way to go, Neumy. Way to go. Our son's all grown up.
Thank you. Thank you. I know it's your greatest passion, basically. Besides, heads up for roles to anyone. Basically, your passion project now is to make me just to have me succeed in life. So I basically I have an internet father, 2 internet brothers. It's great over here.
He's in his kid bedroom right now too.
Yeah, this is incredible backdrop.
The nostalgia off the charts. Yeah, for anyone that I'm not going to go close, but you can look a little close. We got Winnie the Pooh over here. Of course, we got Piglet, Eeyore, Tigger. We got Pooh himself. So
and then there's the Corona sign. Like, what are the Pooh characters like getting a little turned up? Like, what's going on?
So my dad's nickname is Wally the Beer Man, specifically because when he would go to the Metrodome just years ago, he would always go to one section and there'd be a guy that would be the beer vendor, and his name was Wally. And he got to know him so well that when we made a fantasy football league back in like 2010, he was like, oh, Wally the Beer Man 44. That was his number.
I thought that was about to take on like a Don Draper type of storyline where he just totally just like absorbed the dude's identity, and now he became Wally the Beer Man. I was also thinking maybe they call him Wally the Beer Man because his name is Wally and he likes beer. But
no, his name is Paul, so it's not even close. Yeah.
0 for 2. Oaks, I gotta ask you, man. You fired off a GM of all GMs for the turkey slate this morning. I had it pulled up. Hold on. Do you remember the team offhand? Oh, I had it ready. I had it ready. Let's see here. I had it all ready here. Okay. Let's do it here. This team right here, Pollard, Gibbs, Lamb, all on the same team, and then still gets Debo and Purdy, the highest projected quarterback according to the site, and then you round it out with Logan Thomas. My pressing question to this GM Oaks is, are the contests inside the app here for the employees, are they the softest thing in the world?
That's a good question. I think that it's probably yes. Not that's probably a knock on all my coworkers, but like the liquidity is obviously not as strong when we're just talking about employee contests. So a ton of people join a draft and forget that they joined a draft and forget to leave, and then we've got people autoing, and it's just the Wild West.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, this team, and the other thing is like I get a team like this, and it feels like it's a really rare combo. Like it's something that like it's probably really hard to get, but I also don't know because I'm not doing 25, 30 of these like I used to be doing, and I don't know like where people are usually falling. So like I sent this out. I'm like, this might not even be that rare. I'm not sure, but I mean, it seems like it is. I got 6-round Purdy, which is dumb, but
yeah, that's hard to do. I'll tell you firsthand. I'll tell you firsthand, that's hard to do.
Well, I'll tell you, like, I come in here and I'm like, okay, maybe everyone's talking like, oh, you're going to clean up the employee contest. And I have a little thought like, okay, maybe I coming from a daily edge and grinding this and all that. I have yet to get a top 5. And I swear every single night, it's just Red Mamba. And I go to sleep just seeing at the top of every leaderboard, just Red Mamba. And I'm just like,
taking out his paycheck.
This is unbelievable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Serious question then. Is Oaks the best player on the employee side? If we're going Rushmore, okay, so let's go Rushmore then. Let's go Rushmore employee contests right now. Oaks, are you putting yourself on it? Is Rudman flirting with a title here? Who's good on the inside?
Rudman is not good. That's for sure. I think Justin is probably best.
I was just gonna say that.
It's really like it feels like you're donating anytime you get in a draft with him.
What the hell just happened?
But yeah, I think there's a lot of good people like Dane. Most people probably know him as Daggy's Max in the
former
DFS
grinder
world. Yeah, former grinder. Like there's a lot of people that have like played these games and know what they're doing. Now we've got Hope and Neumy here too. So it's been fun. Like usually we used to only have like $1 contests with like 2 max entries and it wasn't like fun. And we've got like
how much is the Thanksgiving one
now?
What size?
Well, Neumy sized it too low. Like it's
that was
Oh.
I did get Dane immediately hit me up.
He needs to get another one out.
But
I think the Thanksgiving one's like 125 to first, so
nice.
10 max. So yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it was funny.
For Steve, who's Steve?
Oh, Steve is he works on engineering, and he's very good at baseball.
Nice. Okay.
Gosh.
Okay,
But
Steve.
yeah, Steve Paulo. And he does a lot of modeling and stuff, like just for fun. Like it has nothing to do with like his
Hello?
job.
I didn't know I was getting worked like that. Jeez.
Yeah, watch out for Steve.
I'm about to send him a 1099. I need him.
No, I get it now because like I'm always getting asked by Steve, like, "Hey, you're gonna drop when the next contest drops?" And I'm like, "Okay," because he's got a model ready to go for me.
Yeah, he's trying to run the Sims on your ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense now.
Neumy, I think the way that these contests are growing on the inside, maybe you need to start like charging rake and just have it go directly into your account.
It was funny because there was no like when I started on a Monday, like obviously the employee battle royale gets dropped a little later in the week, but like not even halfway through the day, I asked Oaks, I'm like, hey, so like, do we get dailies? Like, do I get to play? And he's like, yeah, I know it comes later. You'll see. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, it'll drop later. And like, just immediately itching. I'm just like, yeah, do I get to click buttons too? Because all I want to do is just click buttons, like you guys.
Don't we all?
Oh man. Okay, Neumy, do you ever cancel combos? Is this on the table? Or can we dox Oaks right here and cancel this GM?
No, they show up, but no, no, they're not getting tossed. No.
Yeah, we got to assume everyone on the inside is playing ethically.
Well, when all people join from a draft from the Brooklyn office, like, what do you know what I mean? Like, you just see that, like, makes sense. But yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oaks, how'd you get your start underdog and stuff like that? Turn back the clock here. What initial roles? What drew you to there? Like, how early were you with them? Like, I honestly don't know a ton about your personal side of story. Just kind of know you as the guy we turned to when we were in bad shape with drafts.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been in the DFS world / sports betting world for a little bit. I was working at a company called Sport Radar previously. And while I was there, I couldn't sports bet, but I could play DFS. And that's where I came across Underdog. And I think it was BBM2 was like the first time I like experienced Underdog, but it was like right at the end of BBM2. And I like was totally just donating in that contest. But I was like, started finding like game theory and understanding like what was going on. And it was a fun sweat. And then, yeah, I got attached to the dailies. And it seemed like a pretty big edge. It was just like a kind of like unsolved territory.
Those were the days.
And so, yeah, I think the rooms are probably sharper now. But yeah, when I was there, it was during COVID, so I was working remote, and I'd have one monitor like kind of like acting like I was working, and then one monitor playing Underdog, and I was just firing all day trying to get a lot of volume in.
Hell yeah.
And then yeah, I saw a job opening almost 2 years ago, just a product operations associate role. And yeah, I jumped on board, and there was just a kind of like a lot of things to do. Obviously, I think I was number 50 employees. Now we're over 300.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to see the growth and get to contribute in a lot of different ways. I think, yeah, like previously I was doing a lot of the draft stuff. Nowadays, most of my day to day is spent managing risk in the pick'em lobby. Now that Neumy and Hope are on board, so I'm pretty much hands off over there. But
What
yeah,
does that mean? Managing risk in the pick'em lobby.
I'm the guy, or my team. We're monitoring volume. We're originating projections, moving projections. It depends. I think each sport is a little bit different, right? We do some stuff that's more niche, like our esports and soccer and things like that. And we've got really talented people on the team that are really doing that from scratch and setting their own projections. Yeah. And so, yeah, we've got people that specialize in different sports. But then we've got, obviously, the NFL and NBA is a very efficient market. So there's some stuff that we're pretty much always in line with market, but we also try to do a little bit of our own fun stuff. You'll see, like the NFL lobby, we've got first downs and targets and things like that aren't really a super mainstream thing to play. So we spend some time trying to put out some different types of offerings, even if it is a more liquid sport.
So do we have to change our bit now when we are building out a pick'em entry on off and on the clock, and all of a sudden that scorching 2x chili beside Latavius Murray just disappears, and we blame Neumy? Should we be blaming Oaks?
Yeah, it's not Neumy's fault.
That's so much less fun. That's so much less fun.
No, that's not the answer we wanted, to be honest, and that's not the answer I wanted. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm like that meme of the guy like falling over the sleeping child, just taking all the swords. Like, yeah.
It's a lot better when I'm just sitting here doing stuff, and all of a sudden I'm watching the stream and I just hear Pete just say my name 3 times of how I just screwed him over, and I'm just like literally Drewski, like me, like it was me. Like, what do you mean?
So you guys hang out in real life. We've seen photos of you all golfing. So what we are all dying to know, Oaks, Neumy stroke. Pause. How is he a stick? Is he striping? What's up? How's his game?
Okay.
I think he's pretty good. I think he's better than average. I think I think average to the regular person that doesn't golf that much is like quite bad. Like he wasn't going to get us like kicked off the course or anything.
He's not he's not losing a ball a hole or anything like that.
It got there. It got.
I think he probably went through a few sleeves of balls, but
I mean, me
Yeah,
too.
no, he's a serviceable golfer. Yeah.
Okay.
Is he a foot wedge guy? Is he a foot wedge guy?
I'm a foot wedge guy too. Like no one.
He laid it on me.
Yeah. Like
he told me right away, like, "Hey,
away.
this is how we play," and I'm like, "All right, like if it's, I'm gonna do it," and like, so I'm like, fair enough. But no, like, it's funny because my 2 times golfing with Oaks was literally the best time, the best driving I've had for like a round each time.
Yeah.
Like I get up there and I'm like, I'm ready on hole 1. I'm looking at this pristine course that has like 5 just amazing pedigree or tee boxes. Everything's perfect. You can see it. I'm just like, oh, I'm ready to send this over to hole 7.
Yeah.
And it's right down the middle. And I'm like, okay, I start getting a little pep in my step as we're walking down. I'm like, let's do this. Like, and from that point on, but yeah.
Doobie, you're a show pony, dude. I didn't know this about you. You're a show pony, man. Your game comes out when the lights are the brightest.
Well, except when I ask Oaks to video record me, and I put a little driver divot out there. So
yeah, he does take a few divots on the tee box. But the other thing is like I go to a public course, so you're usually like paired up with a couple randoms whenever we go. First time we played, we were with like no disrespect to old ladies, but they were probably like 75, like 2 old ladies that were playing with us. And that was just hilarious. But then the next time, the first guy that was playing with us teed off and like hit it like 20 yards and like knew me under his breath. Was like, thank God. Like it makes it so much easier whenever the guys that are in your group botch it before you. It just takes all the pressure off.
Oh,
absolutely.
It was great. It was the best thing that could ever happen. I was like, and like all the pressure just immediately went. I'm like, I'm just like these guys. It was great.
Just like me.
Love us.
Okay, one more hanging out with Neumy question before we draft something here.
Oh man,
was he the most embarrassing, edge of his seat, cringe-worthy fan at the Twins playoff game?
Honestly, no. There was a guy that was in our row that was psycho. Like I think he was there by himself, probably like mid-50s, and he was like getting mad at people for not being more excited.
Watch the game. Hello.
It's like, yeah, it's like I'm me. Like I like going to Minnesota sporting events. I'm not a Minnesota fan, but like I like for the team to do well because it's like exciting and more events to go to. So like, yeah, I'd like for them to win, but I'm not going to be like rally towel and like going crazy. I'm just there to like hopefully watch some good ball. And and he's like chirping people for like not losing their voice. Now Neumy wasn't getting chirped because Neumy was doing plenty of that, which is great. I would be doing the same thing if I cared about the baseball team. But that was a really fun game to go to. Like it's wild how much pain Minnesota sports fans go through.
It was great. Yeah, well, yeah, we don't have to get into that. We already spent a whole year and a half of BadgeBros of that, but it was great because Oak showed up with I'm pretty sure your cousin, and I find out that he's like a hardcore Minnesota sports fan, Minnesota Twins. I mean, he knows everything. I'm peppering him, like, feeling him out, like, what do you actually know? And he knows it all. We just broed out the entire game.
Yeah, like, I literally just like chilled.
Yeah,
and, like they just hit it off.
Yeah, he sat in between. His cousin sat in between us, so I just talked to him the whole game, and then he was sending me snaps for the next game and all that, and like showing me his pictures. So we broed out for that. It was great. That old guy had literally a flag around him. He had his own Yeti that they filled up and stuff, and he was just all like,
his own Yeti.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
He was like. And then we're way up in the like the back seats, you know what I mean, like second deck outfield, and he's expecting everyone to be standing and doing the wave and getting ready.
Not the wave.
Oh yeah,
the wave. It was
constantly. Come on.
Oh, see, that's weird. If you're gonna be like mad at people for not being into the game and also be a wave guy, like that just doesn't like mesh in my mind.
Yeah, those are two separate dudes.
Yeah, and I will say I've kind of turned on the wave. I used to be very staunchly against it, but now I'm just like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Let people
just put your arms up a couple times.
Yeah, like I'm not going to participate, but like that is just so funny that you're a hardcore fan and a wave guy. That is so weird. I know John is getting ready to hop into a draft, but Oaks, I'm curious since you're in Minnesota now. How did the Titans fandom begin for you?
Yeah, I'm originally from Nashville. So I was living there post grad for a while. And yeah, I've just always loved the Titans. I think that's the only team, like working in sports for a long time, you like kind of lose the excitement of like games sometimes. Like the Titans are the ones that like actually affects my mood.
I love that.
And I don't think that'll ever go away. But yeah, so I I still have my season tickets. No matter like they keep raising the price, even though they keep getting worse. It's insane.
Right.
But like I'm just the idiot.
Gotta
that's
play.
like,
Gotta pay
sign me up.
Tanny somehow.
Sign me up again. You know, I just want to be able to say that I was a season ticket holder whenever we win the Super Bowl. So yeah, they've got me drinking the Kool-Aid. It sounded very confident right there. Yeah. But yeah, we're building a new stadium. I'm a Mike Vrabel truther.
I like Vrabel.
I do too.
Are they putting a roof on that thing or no?
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be very small. I want to say it's like 45,000, which is like very small for an NFL stadium.
Why?
Like Nissan right now is like 60, but they're building it for like to be able to have like a badass Final Four venue, like Taylor Swift, like that's what it's going to be, like probably the sickest like concert venue. I think, but yeah, it's going to be sick. I might get priced out of season tickets when that happens, but we'll see.
Where do you stand with mayo and coffee? I feel like this must be answered from a Titans fan.
I haven't tried it, but I'm also it depends when you catch me. I'm usually a Will Levis truther. I mean, he has insane talent. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But if we keep losing football games, Caleb might be a Titan.
Yeah, like that's like a little bit of a predicament. I feel like you obviously go with like one of the quarterbacks, even if it isn't Caleb. There's a couple really talented QBs
like
in this class,
Will,
but you have
like,
to, right?
Will he has like a Josh Allen type like arm, right? Like it's not
right.
There's no denying. Like you see the throws that he makes, and it's like the ball is out of there so much quicker. It's not turning the ball over. Like he's built like a horse. So yeah, I think that's gonna be our guy.
Like I would take Levis over Kenny like in a heartbeat. Like, you know, I mean, I know that may not be saying a lot, but I think like cool to you. It's not a hot take, obviously, but I mean, you could name 31 different QBs in the league, obviously, and I'm maybe even stretch that to like 40, and I'll say give me them over KP.
Yo, a KP one. We're gonna hop in a draft here. Actually, I'll save the KP question for 1 second. I want to get Oaks. It's dealer's choice around here. We are gonna get everyone to participate in a group pick'em entry. If that's off the table for you, if you can't contribute a play, that's all good. We're gonna try and keep the pick'em football focused, but it's dealer's choice for a draft. So first things first, do you want to or can you contribute a pick'em?
Are we keeping it to is this Thanksgiving only or is it the whole NFL slate?
It's Thanksgiving slate only, hopefully.
Okay, let's look at it. I'll throw something out there.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's go to Niners Seahawks.
Okay. Which side of that you want?
I want to be the anchor in this one.
48ers, he said.
48ers, baby.
Yeah.
Those damn 48ers.
I think CMC's too high on his fantasy points.
Oh, we're gonna start with the lower on the ghost.
Starting.
I would kill for this to get sniped so hard and to get it pulled down. I would kill for Oaks to get
Oaks pulls his own shit.
Oh my god! All right, there it is. There's the first part of the guests and bros Thanksgiving.
Well, now we know it's sharp. So like immediately off the bat, we know this thing is sharp. Crazy.
Yeah,
we started right off with the lower. Yeah. Usually it's like we're feeding John. We're like, please, John, one lower, one. He's like, okay, all right.
There ain't no cowards on this show. We only pick hires. Oaks, dealer's choice, man. Don't take me out of pocket. Let's keep it in like the $5-7 range or whatever.
The big turkey looks pretty good, huh?
I heard there's $500 sitting goes now. I think T-Box is waiting for on.
Yeah. Just pay T-Box's rake. Do you want to do? Yeah, up to you.
We can do hoops, or we can do. I can probably contribute more if we're talking football.
Okay,
I know nothing on that.
There's plenty of Turkey Day stuff out here.
All right, let's start with the old classic. Then we'll start turkey. We'll start football here.
These turkey drafts are a ton of fun. I'm a little bummed that we got that Musgrave out, or the IR, but
when did that come? I wasn't.
That
Like
was
an hour ago, 2 hours ago,
the
maybe.
official IR was like an hour ago.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
and backup running back too, Emmanuel Wilson. So
Huge.
They're gonna be calling up Patrick Taylor from the practice squad. He's not in the player pool. Neumy, what are we doing out here?
Gotta get these practice squad guys in, man.
Gotta get these practice squad guys in.
When you're behind the scenes fake bitching to me about Lenny not being in the player pool, I'm just like, get this guy out of here. Like, can we not for once? Like,
It's
quit him.
It's so real.
Just quit him.
It is so real.
There's there's some interesting stuff with this slate because of the injury stuff on both the Seahawks side. Metcalf had a Q tag and Geno had a Q tag for a bit there. Now they got the probable in the green tag. Lockett just hasn't been hasn't been healthy for a minute, but at least he was limited participant yesterday. We got the doubtful on Ken Walker. Like the slate's been super dynamic over the last day and a half here. CMC goes 1. Do you have a lean between CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, or something funky, Oaks?
Let's go Amon-Ra.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Something about the Lions on Thanksgiving.
It's easier to get. It's obviously it's tough to get CD Dak. I'm assuming. I haven't been in a lot of these rooms. Is that tough? Is that achievable?
It's doable, but it doesn't feel good to take Dak in the second round, and you sort of kind of have to. Maybe not in this. It's questionable in this room, but you do kind of have to pay a premium if you want to stack CD. And that just doesn't feel likely to be optimal, in my opinion. So I've been light on Dak and on this slate.
It's interesting that the Niners are so high. Well, I guess it's just CMC and Purdy, but that total is.
I mean, every Niner goes before round 3. All the Niners that you want.
I think that's overpriced. I'd be fading the Niners, I think.
Yeah, so are you a Seattle defense truther, or you just think that this offense is just a little overrated? Because I like the Seattle defense.
I do. I like the Seattle defense. I think I just don't even like that game. I don't think
lowest
that
total
game just feels too expensive right now.
We got decisions here. We can go the quarterback route. We can go David Montgomery with Amon-Ra. We could reach down to Kittle there. I think Montgomery or Kittle feels best. Or Dak, if you want to play that narrative.
Let's go Monty.
Yes. I think the Lions are very live to lead the slate in points scored.
They're very live to blow the effing doors off of this super banged up Green Bay team and be 2 Lions running backs optimal.
I'm counting on it.
Kittle and Metcalf go. Yeah, you.
Where's our Packers? Is AJ Dillon
Packers
buried?
They're buried.
Well, all right. Let's go McLaurin.
Hell yeah!
Right. Let's do it.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Okay.
Packers wide receivers.
I think we should be setting up for some Packers just late, Packers double with
that
Watson and
you like Kraft? You a little crafty?
Not that gross.
Oh, see, John, that's John's boy.
That's my boy.
Is that the sneak?
Yeah. Well, I'd break it down for you, Oaks, with 6'5", drafted in the 3rd round, decent 40 time. I'd go that route, but I'm drinking a craft beer right now, and my dog's name's Tucker. That's all I got for you. Tucker Craft, baby. Sometimes the plays just play themselves.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
Sharp.
Devo and Purdy go. Sharps has been really creeping up these draft boards. Sharps goes at 11 there. This would be an interesting team if he takes Dak here in the 4th.
If he doesn't, I think why don't we take Dak now?
Yeah, I think
ready.
so.
That seems pretty good in the 4th. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, good. I think Dak's the best quarterback play on the slate. And I do think this opens up. You could go the Brandon Cooks route, or now on the way back, seemingly he doesn't go double tight end. We could go with Jake Ferguson.
And we've
I
got
think
the
Jake
McLaurin bring back already.
Yeah, there you go.
This for me is going to be it would be Ferguson if this guy can't go double tight end. Ferguson's going to project. I haven't seen any updates since Musgrave and the latest updates, but I think Ferguson's going to end up projecting better than half of these wide receivers.
He's projecting better than Laporta on ETR right now.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
The thing about the Laporta stuff is the splits have been drastic with and without Gibbs. When they have both running backs in, Laporta, the Laporta dump off work goes to Gibbs.
He's still kind of, and I think Gibbs is sort of becoming the 2A of the 2B of the passing options, because Amon-Ra, Gibbs, then I think Laporta is still a fine tight end. This is a pretty sexy little tight end slate, I will say. But no, I do think that there is something there to the not needing to use Laporta quite as much.
Now the question is what we'll end up doing with the last one here. We could do something off of the Detroit stuff with somebody from Green Bay. I have taken very little Romeo Doubs this week. I was just way more in on the Reed stuff, but Reed has a chest contusion. Watson's practicing in full. You get the Q tag on a groin injury from Dylan, and then now you have no Musgrave. Man, this Packers team is decimated. Romeo Doubs, I might be kicking myself for not having some right now. But do you guys have a lean? Do you want to do a Packers wide receiver or
Watson's
running back
still there, right?
Here? Yeah, Watson's still there. We could do a double stack with Brandon Cooks. You got AJ Dillon, Brandon Cooks. You got Watson. We could scroll even further. You could do something funky like Antonio Gibson trailing script against the Dallas stuff, back-to-back limited practices. That's a real.
I think we should
scroll the F.
I think if Dylan falls here, if Dog Pound doesn't take him, I think he's a good pick here. And for swap options, then you just push up your Packers wide receivers if he's ruled out. Okay. I think we should get a little bit more of that game.
I'm hearing a lot of talk about Dylan potentially sitting. Are you guys worried that Dylan might sit? He's limited. I feel
if he's gonna sit, I'm fine taking him in the 6th though. That.
Oh yeah. I think starting or sitting, he's a great 6th round pick. But I'm just hearing a lot of talk about AJ Dillon sitting. I didn't think it was
It is wild how undrafted I imagine all these Packers weapons are going, right? Because someone has to be involved in that offense, and it's almost like the whole offense is getting undrafted or going 6th round.
Yeah, that was our big first look shout there on the Monday show was, man, these Packers doubles or these Packers back end skinnies, just given Love's projection so far down and them all being pushed down, they were kind of both the leverage and decent plays, right?
Yep. Jordan Love has thrown the ball 40 times the last 2 games.
Right. Yeah.
In a dome. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, something. That's my thing. Is I feel like a Christian Watson has a mini Randy Moss game incoming where he's just gonna get home on two catches for 2 touchdowns, 90 yards, 2 catches, 2 mini. Okay, I said mini. I said mini. Relax.
You mean the Jalen Guyton?
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. But on this slate, 2 catches for 80, 90 yards and 2 tuds in a trailing script where they're going to pass 40. I don't know. That Christian Watson did he go draft? Was he drafted?
Undrafted.
No.
He's been undrafted a lot.
If the resident Christian Watson hater, which is Neumy2, is saying that Christian Watson can do Randy Moss things. If Randy
I said he has okay, all right. You know what?
Honestly, I think Neumy said Christian Watson was basically Randy Moss. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard
Charlie Hennigan. He's no Charlie Hennigan, I'll give you that much.
AJ Dillon's like Adrian Peterson if he gets rolled in too. They just all turn into Vikings legends all of a sudden.
God
damn. Let's pick up on the vibes very, very quick.
Oh yeah, Oaks he's telling us he's built for the camera. This guy's been lying through his teeth.
I think my time's
Oaks,
up soon, right? It's got to be up soon. Man.
yes. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Two parting things I'm going to ask everybody before they leave. Favorite, scroll the F down on the slate right there. When we were looking at it, who's your favorite deep dart for tomorrow?
Maybe Jameson Williams.
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
Yes!
You want to talk about Randy Moss, eh?
Okay,
Yeah.
butter up Nez, I suppose. Whatever.
And then the other one, the 101 of Thanksgiving meal non-turkey. What are you going with?
Yeah, I don't even want to open this can of worms. I'm not a Thanksgiving food guy. I think everything about Thanksgiving is, well, besides like football and like drinking with your family, like the food is all mid.
Oh man.
Yeah, if it was up to me,
This is a
like
good take.
we would do
Oh, shut up, Canadian.
steak. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I honestly like the rolls from the spread that we're gonna have tomorrow. It's gonna be turkey. It'll be fine, but like if it was that good, why aren't we doing it every week? Like I know that's
Oh my
that's
god.
what's going
I
like, why,
hate that. I hate that.
Such a good
reasoning.
take.
I
if it was
hate
that
such a
good,
good take.
why do we do it once a year? Because it's not like it's not like a
And
not like
that's all
turkey's,
your
like,
time.
super
Oaks.
Yeah,
expensive.
and
Coming
it's a good
on.
feed,
That's
yo.
right.
Dude, turkey is dead ass just dry chicken.
It is.
Nobody
It
likes
is,
turkey,
it is.
but like,
But if it was up to me, it'd be like a prime rib roast, and it'd dunk on anybody's turkey.
That is the best take we could have possibly had. Easy will get him. Easy,
Thank you.
You'll get your chance. Easy will get his chance to defend himself. Easy is coming up soon. Oaks, thank you so much for doing this, man. Long time coming. Appreciate all the hard work you do behind closed doors for us at Underdog, bro.
See you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
thanks,
Happy
Oaks.
Thanksgiving.
Peace.
Next up, we got Knights at G-Gen, Top Shot, probably drafting. What else are we doing here? Clay, what's good, man?
Let's go.
Fellas, what's up, guys? Good
Oh,
to be back with the bros.
been waiting for this one, man. It's been a minute since
It has been a minute, man. It's like the
NBA
club, I
playoffs, right?
guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's I doesn't even feel. I mean, God, it feels like a long ass time ago. And at the same time, I can't believe it's been that long
Yeah.
since we're on stream together. So, no,
Too long, man.
appreciate being able to slide through. And I'll give you guys a quick cheers. I poured up a little bit of little maple bourbon out here. So you know,
Oh,
rocking.
that sounds delicious.
Getting, yeah, actually, I mean,
Little
shit's
maple.
very good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
little
you.
maple bourbon. You know, I'm trying to get in the yeah, you're right. It's for John. It's for John.
Is that straight, or are you like you make a little something?
Well, I put too much ice in the cup, to be honest, because I got to get some proper cocktail ice. And we just got like an ice machine. So I kind of fucked up. It's a little bit too watered down at this point. But, you know, it is what it is. It still tastes good. So
Helps
you know,
with
little,
the drinkability.
yeah, no doubt. So it's, you know, neat, slightly watered down. But we're ice cold, baby.
What's up with the new digs here? You moved out of the big city. You are a suburbanite now. Where are you located now? What's going on here?
Yeah, man. I'm in North Carolina. I grew up outside of Asheville, but I'm outside of Charlotte now. So it was a lovely 7.5 years in the Big Apple. Definitely, you know, I love New York City dearly, but it was time, man. I had a lot of life happen in a short time span. Got married, moved out all in about a 2-month span. But it's good. It definitely fits the vibes these days. And it's nice, man. I can't complain. So I'm happy to be here. It's just hard to justify paying exorbitant rent and cost of living when I'm working from home, and my wife is too. And we were just kind of like we've been dealing with construction for like 1.5 years, like right behind our apartment. And it was fucking brutal. I'm talking like jackhammers every morning at 7 a.m., Monday through Saturday, sometimes some Sunday bullshit. Like it was a lot. So I'm still kind of getting adjusted to not hearing construction 24/7, but it's lovely to say the least. So yeah,
That's good.
vibes
man.
are good,
Yo,
man.
so
The vibes are good.
You grew up North Carolina. Were you a racing guy? Like that's part of the culture there, is it not?
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like if you grow up in North Carolina, you can't really not have NASCAR as part of your life. So yeah, I was a big Jeff Gordon fan growing up. Like,
Yes.
big time. Yeah.
Ooh, you
Rainbow
were not a Bobby
Warrior.
Labonte guy.
I mean, shout out Bobby, but nah, man, I was a Rainbow Warrior through and through.
Right.
Shout out Jeff Gordon. You know, it's praise Dale, raise hell down here. That's how they say.
Yep.
I remember, like, honestly, God, like this. Actually, I can't even say this comparison. That's too fucked up. But I'll put it this way: kids, when Dale Earnhardt Jr. passed away, Dale Earnhardt passed away, senior. It was like the school had a damn funeral. It is that level of kind of like commitment. And I definitely fell out of any sort of fandom for the longest time. I would say like once like middle school rolled around, I was not really into it so much anymore, all the way up until I had the opportunity to go out last October to Vegas for one of the final races. The NASCAR was nice enough to fly me out for some stuff, and that was a blast. I was up in the box with like Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Shout out Wob, first time I ever met him, fellow UNC guy.
Nice.
That was a pretty amazing experience to be like on pit road, and like in the got to go up in the crew chief box and stuff. So yeah, like low key after that, the real reason I kind of got into NASCAR back at all was it was the only thing you could play DFS for during COVID for the most part. And so I happened to kind of get back in the DFS streets for NASCAR during that time because I was searching for anything to entertain myself. And then between that and the experience, I was firing off some lineups still up until NFL season rolled around, but then I haven't watched shit since I don't know September.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm
Once
very
everything kind of came back.
Yeah,
I'm a NASCAR guy. I like NASCAR. That's why I had to ask or whatever. But that's actually funny you bring up the COVID one because that was like the only sport rolling for a bit there during COVID, right? Like, so eyes were on that. And it got to the point where they were doing like NASCAR events or whatever. So mid COVID for myself or whatever, I bought one of those setups, like those iRacing setups. And I fucking made videos for like 10 friends. Like that was it. Just like that. Neighborhood buddies where I just like talked with this hick ass accent, put on a NASCAR jersey, which I had from races that I'd been to. And I just fucking drove that thing. I swear I played like 3 hours a day during COVID, just bored out of my mind. Had nothing else to do.
So funny. Dude, that reminds me. You know what's honestly crazier than playing DFS for the e-racing was the damn Madden Sims. And that you could actually fucking make lineups for the Madden Sims.
Dude,
we were so in it,
man. That was crazy. Because that was like my real life, and people met like I realized that no one even understood what Madden Sims were, and I knew what they were because I watched that stream a lot before COVID happened, and all of a sudden people are gambling on it, and like I see the whole internet freaking out about this is unbelievable and all this. I'm like, it's a fucking Madden Sim. Like I don't think they understand what it actually is, and oh, that was amazing. The DFS, basically. So many people got into Madden Sims, NASCAR, esports during that time that had no idea what was going on. Like CSGO, they're like, what the fuck is going on right now? But we'll bet. We'll play lineups.
Yeah, that was me, man. That was me. So
I was sweating that shit. I was like,
cornhole and ESPN in the background. Yeah.
Does this guy have enough money to buy an ARM? Like I had no idea how much the ARM cost.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Incredible.
It's so funny, man. I was doing a little NBA show yesterday, and our guy Carlos threw me out a CSGO pick'em projection. He said, just do it. Just trust me on this. And it flopped. So Carlos, you're banned.
COD esports was my thing back in the when I just started. That's where I like started DFS. Like my first DFS was Call of Duty esports. Didn't do anything else, and then slowly graduated from that. It was like, oh wait, they have NFL and MLB. They have actual things you can do, not just like Call of Duty. So
I mean, I don't even play video games, but I knew I was a true sicko when I started like learning like CS:GO player names during COVID. Yeah. That was when I was like, all right, man, you might need to reevaluate.
Yeah, like maybe call the number. I don't know.
If you look at your spreadsheet and you see a spreadsheet full of CS:GO names, you're like, oof, okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah, a little more bourbon.
Yo, Clay, you been in the streets at all here? Have you been drafting turkey stuff? You're more hoops focused this time of year, are you not? Like just in general?
I'm pretty 50-50 to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not a maxer, so I kind of just like pick and choose my spots, try to find the slates that I like, either from feeling like IK being a little bit of ball knowledge. I do follow the NBA pretty closely, so I definitely like to hop in when I get a chance. But no, the turkey is like my ideal kind of contest. Like, that the price point where you can just blast off. Nice little top prize, shout out Neumy, rake free. We appreciate you guys. So it's nice. Yeah. The turkey is a lot of fun. I've been kind of like hyper focused on that. So just trying not to, try not to deposit too much. I gotta hit a few more ticket flips out here.
You got any leans for us? You got any plays you're liking for that slate, stuff you're kind of over the field on right now?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of 3-hole slots. So I've been taking a lot of Sun God, which is, it's hard to be mad at that. But I mean, CMC, and this is the first time where I really felt like the top 3 are so correct and in order too. From just like, I kind of think CD might be has a chance to finish like the top scorer on the slate. However, I think like CMC at the position is just like a edge. So if you're not going to pass up on him at 101, I'm not going to Galbraith that one. I know I've been down to Galbraith some crazy shit in the past, but no, we're going to stick to ADP there. I am kind of vibing with Montgomery. I'm trying to get ahead of him, which is like against the brand so much for me. Somebody I'm just like anti Montgomery for my whole life until this week. And now I want all the Montgomery. So I'm pretty much trying to draft him on every single type of roster I can, if that's a Lions heavy build or just one off. I haven't got a Gibbs Montgomery pairing yet, but I don't know, just something about Thanksgiving Day, the Packers suck at run defense. Like, it just seems like a Dan Campbell is going to just feed the beast kind of I don't know. I'm buying into it. So that's a narrative I've created in my head.
Short week narrative.
Sweet Montgomery dreams at night. So yeah, I mean, I hope David's ringing the bell and eating some turducken about 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Love it. Should we do the pick'em one, guys?
Yeah, let's see what you got for us. So, I mean, our first guess, Oaks, is kind of in line with you, man. Like, you're saying CD might low key be 101. We've got a CMC lower. The first play on this freaking Thanksgiving entry is a CMC lower.
Yeah, look. Shout out Oaks, but I feel like he might have rugged us there as an employee. Like, he's trying to like make himself look good internally, because like that. How do you explain that shit, man? Like, what the fuck? Like,
dude.
I mean,
Oaks is an inside job from the
jump. More Oaks. Yeah, we need more Oaks on camera because my guy was electric. But this pick, I just feel like he's just trying to set us up for a fucking 4 out of 5 joint out here. So I cannot co-sign that one. I'm probably going to be honestly removing it from my personal slip here. I got a couple options on my sleeve for you guys that I think are in line. I think, I wasn't even, this is kind of like third on my list here, but I'm just going to go to it straight away for John Boy over here. Cause Tucker Kraft, I mean, 27.5. We got to hit the higher on that joint. Like, he went over it in 2 catches last week. Green Bay might be without like any walking wide receiver at this point in time. That just feels like a smash in my opinion. Like, they're going to have to pass the ball. I like that a lot. I think that's when I feel pretty cozy with. And if it doesn't hit,
guy's handsome as shit too. Look at this. I didn't even know this. This guy's handsome as shit too, man. I'm in on Tucker Kraft so hard right now.
Dude, it's gonna be 4 targets for 2 catches for like 6 yards. Oh my gosh, I can't.
It's very.
Who else they throw the ball to?
Jaden Reed, baby. Jaden Reed's doing it all.
Well, okay, so here's my thing, right? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Shout out doctors, but that's not me. I can't figure out this injury report situation. I will say that a chest injury that was lingering enough to be on the report is not one that I feel great about as a football player. If you're getting hit in the chest, that's like one pop that is not quite like I don't know. I know these guys take hits left and right, and it's hard to kind of parse through that, but I'm a little sketched out, to be honest, about just the nature of that and how it's being described, and the fact that it was like lingering enough for him to be on the report like 2 days after their game. So I'm a little spooked, although like with Wicks is definitely not playing, right? I'm pretty sure I saw that he was not practicing.
It's still a Q tag, but it feels like he's going to be
out. Yeah. So, I mean, man, I was ready to smash Reed, especially after shout out Peter Jennings. Like, he was all over him on the Establish the Million as well. And I was like, man, yeah, I need some more Reed in my life. But once I started looking at the injury stuff a little bit more, I'm a little spooked, to be honest. So fire some Kraft, baby.
All right.
I like it. I mean, you didn't have to sell me that. Might be a lock button. I'm in, baby.
Yeah. We're gonna go for it.
Okay, here, let's go one layer. I'm done on Tucker Kraft after this one last little like wrinkle of bro science. If you think you have a team with no tight ends on it, right? You got rid of all your tight ends, Tunyon's gone, whatever. You think that you've drafted the tight end of your future in round 1 with Luke Musgrave. Would you possibly draft another tight end in the 3rd round if you didn't think he was electric?
Wait, this guy was a 3rd round draft pick?
Dude, he was a 3rd round pick this year, and they had already drafted Musgrave. They obviously think he's sick.
Fucking lock button.
Dude, that is the most Packers thing I've ever heard. I did not know they did that. I did not know they drafted Musk. Oh my goodness.
It was like it was
double down.
Musgrave. I heard Tucker Kraft is a new Rob Gronkowski. I don't know.
Yeah, geez. Okay, I need to reevaluate now. Yeah, my
Tucker
brain
Gronk, baby.
My brain is now just like it's doing a whole flip.
Randy Moss is tight end for him.
3 catches, 101, 3 tuds. Tucker Kraft incoming. You heard it here first.
Yo, T-Bear going
That's
with...
what I heard.
Oh, here, I'll move Clay. The T-Bear with an interesting supporting Oaks thesis here. Short week, they might be up by 1 million with all the injuries. Whatever.
Hey, man, if T-Bear's saying it, then that's just extra oomph that I know that pick is wrong. T-Bear's throwing me nothing but duds on the note. He has not hit once. I swear to God. I listen to him. He tricks me every goddamn time. We're gonna leave this on because I love Oaks, but man, that is the kiss of death. I'm just telling you.
I did hear it's Debo week. So
should we is that a foreshadowing to one of your next ones here?
Yeah, Clay, if you give us more than one, I will build like a little special Clay
we'll build a mini
guide.
Yeah. All right, I'll put it this way. I think Cook's line is way too low. Like the Cowboys, like CD's line. I mean, I think CD could go for fucking 200 yards out here. So like, who am I to say? Like, I'm not taking this lower by any means, but like, that's hanging a pretty big number out there. And if they get up and it's just not going his way for whatever reason, like I don't want to get left hanging when he's at like 80 yards. But Cook's at 36.5. That feels way too low to me. So I'm taking the higher on that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Smash. This is what we're gonna do.
I also like that Montgomery line a lot as well. DMont 66.5. Like he's went over that the last few weeks when they've been splitting work, and he might get the ball, 18 times himself.
Okay.
So
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the Clay one because Clay came out here firing on all cylinders, handing us some sick plays that I'm fully in lockstep with these. Not to discredit Oaks' CMC tout here. His CMC play is going on the main slate or on the main entry here.
Yeah, and then Clay's contribution. I think we're gonna. Well, Clay can choose, but I think we're thinking Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that to the bros. You guys pick which of these three is your favorite for the main slip.
Man, now that I see that Cooks one, I'm like, oh damn, because Cooks was low-key gonna be my to steal the ETR bros flag plant of like the 6th round guys right now. I think Cooks is shaping up to be like my favorite click right now. This is 36.5, man.
Yeah. Lou Dog in the chat is trying to say that he's been under most of the season. I mean, that's fair, but look, I mean, since their bye, this dude hung 173 yards 2 weeks ago against the Giants, who are only slightly better than the Commanders' past defenses.
Yeah.
And then against Carolina, I mean, he didn't have to do a whole lot, but he hit 42 with ease. So I don't know. Sign me up.
It's Brandon Cooks, man. He's only a year. Look, he's not washed yet. He's not washed yet. I refuse to believe that Brandon Cooks is washed.
Yeah, there's no Turpin line, right? Like that's getting a little too. Yeah, there's no Turpin line, so I'm not getting that crazy with it.
Wow. Well, hey, I mean, Dave was talking up Turpin on Monday here when we did the Dog Bowl recap or whatever. He was like, "Prepare when I come on the show. This Turkey Bowl Turpin's usage is upticking. He's gonna be the best click." Like, well, what?
He likes Tolbert a lot too, man.
Tolbert,
it was Tolbert. Sorry, it was Tolbert.
Yeah, Tolbert's what I was thinking as well. I don't know. I'm feeling the Cooks line. Look, if he doesn't hit that, I can go back and just eat some more turkey and gravy and just calm myself down into a nice sleep. But
all right, so this will be the Clay one. The confidence interval. I'm going to assess the confidence interval for myself at this one as 15 USD. That's what the confidence interval for me. 15 for 90 there. We're going to go ahead, share that one in the chat. And then we will say, I want you to pick. I want you to pick for the bit here, because when we make the final entry with everyone's, we got Oaks on it. I want you to make the click between these three of your favorite plays. Which one are you going to add to the main?
Hold on, sorry. I lost you for a second there because my mom, shout out, decided to call me while I'm on stream, and these headphones love to switch all of a sudden. But I did do it. Every
Okay.
year tomorrow.
I-
Look, I've been literally cooking all day in the kitchen, so we're riding with Brandon Cooks, baby. That's the motto out here.
Oh, like it.
Yeah, let's go.
Well
Hard time
done.
too, but we've
Okay.
been cooking it up. Let's cook it up with Cooks.
All right, we'll cook
Lock
it
it
up
in.
with Cooks there. Cooks is locked in on the side screen here, so we got CMC and Cooks thus far. Chances are we are going to get Tucker Craft on there anyways when I get to sneak mine in.
I figured
Yeah,
so.
dude.
That fit that a
So-
little fifth piece of pie there.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Thanksgiving stuff. You were cooking. What were you cooking today? And what are some 101 selections for you?
Ooh, I chefed up a little sweet potato pie last night. I do like pumpkin pie for the record, but I decided to switch up this year. Went sweet potato
Like the
pie.
same thing.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's like I don't know if you do a blind taste test to really tell the difference there, but
I know, right?
I was just feeling sweet potato vibes this year. Did a little homemade cranberry sauce. My wife Stacy's like working on some dressing right now. It's what we call it down here in the South. It's not stuffing unless it goes inside the bird. It's
I know.
dressing.
I learned that as well.
Yeah, you got to hit the intricacies there. And I'll be working on the bird later tonight. Got to get it all spatchcocked and worked out. What else we got? Got mashed potatoes tomorrow. Some root vegetables, little green bean casserole, homemade. No Campbell's soup in there. I'm going completely from scratch. So that's what I'm working on later tonight.
Wow,
Yeah.
Dude, you're a chef, huh?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got some skills
little
in the
bit, man.
kitchen.
Back in the day before I left my agency job and had a little bit more of a work-life balance, so to speak, I was known for flicking up some IG posts with some food. So I'll try to bring it back in the future. Little personal hobby of mine.
Sweet, man. That's good. So who are you hosting? You got family that's close enough that's coming over? You got Stacy's family? What do you got?
Yeah, but so my parents are close enough to drive in. Both of them will be driving in, and then Stacy's parents are flying down. So it'll be nice to have them here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's be good. So we got it pretty easy for hosting our first one. Just 6 of us, and I think even if the food sucks, the parents will say it's great, but at least the food won't suck. I hope not. I don't think it will. It's hard to fuck it up.
No way.
Butter and sugar
No
and salt and everything. It's just
That's what I'm
it's gonna be
saying, man.
good,
Like
so.
those are the cheat codes. We have yet to
You got
host.
outs.
We have yet to
Yeah.
host any holidays. Like me and my wife, we can't wait for our first time to finally like host something. Like we only have an apartment right now, but the first time we finally host, we're going bonkers. We're going crazy. So you don't want to miss. What
I'm
we're
pumped,
shoving up
man.
there. So I'm envious for you.
We're
I'll
low
send some food
key.
pics in the chat.
Oh, I like it. I like that. We're low key at that age bracket where it's like the changing of the guard, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you become you go from the hostee to the hosted or whatever, the vice
Speak
versa.
for your
There.
fucking self there, bud.
Well, yeah, you're not there yet.
Age
Neumy.
gap.
But Neumy,
Hashtag age gap.
yeah, Neumy, you're getting married, dude, and marriage on the table puts it, one step
Brother,
further there because
brother,
then
as
as
long
soon
as-
as you
As long as my mother's still alive, I am not cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm not.
Fair
hosting
enough.
Shit.
Yeah.
I cannot cook. My fiance cannot cook. I literally, the fact that my mom's hosted and cooking is like a blessing. When Oak said that he didn't like Thanksgiving on the meals, I was literally appalled. I can think of 15 dishes that I love. Not even excluding the 7-layer Jello that my mother makes, but it's everything.
7-layer Jello. Wow.
Oh, it's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. She puts it's like 3 days into that to make sure each layer, like, before you put the next layer of Jello on there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We take the holiday. We take the holidays like it's real serious. So
Okay.
I love it, man.
7-layer Jello to me seems like not like weird. It's just like one of those unique things. Like I had heard that one before.
it's just a bunch of flavors. It's just like so it's like this big of a glass bowl, and it's just a bunch of flavors of Jello. Just
no, yeah. I got the vibe. Yeah. I got
Oh
the vibe.
yeah. There's 7. Yeah. Well, some people
was
would
just
take
like,
that
no.
different and be like, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, what do you guys think? Like, one of the weirdest, most unique ones is that you have because, like, my grandma used to make marshmallow salad. You guys ever had marshmallow salad?
I've heard of it.
I've never
but
had it.
It's
but I'm
like-
They
familiar
might
with
make it different.
Dude, it was like bizarre. I didn't eat it. My sister loved it. I didn't eat it. It was like, grapes and little baby marshmallows and some other fruits and then like a mayo-based like dressing to mush it all together. It wasn't my thing. I don't know, but like that's all I thought about when you said Jello salad. I was thinking like through like these weird ass unique ones like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we did. It's there's a cookie dessert where you basically just
normal.
get a bunch of whipped cream with like your what I forget what they're fudge stripe cookies and then like mandarin oranges. You guys have that? No, is that something weird
No.
too? It's really
Yeah,
good, but like it's like a whipped cream base with like a bunch of fudge stripe cookies and mandarin oranges. It's amazing.
You just made that up.
No, I did not. I will put it in Discord tomorrow when we have it. I will.
Crumbled,
I mean,
crumbled
I
Oreos on top.
I have no problem like picturing what it looks like. I just
Oh,
like
it's
cannot
amazing.
imagine that.
It's really good. It's just,
Whoever
you only have a
invented that
little
was
bit.
high
It's
as
really sugary.
fuck. That's
Yeah.
close.
My mother. Hey, my mother.
Shout out mom,
She
man.
tokes.
Yeah, shout out mom, huh?
She tokes.
Shout out,
Oh man, that's
uh,
good.
yeah, pass
The chat's
day.
asking.
Mama knew me.
Yeah. GA is asking you, are you deep fried bird guy, Clay, or what are you doing?
No, I practice fire safety, so I'm not a deep
Yeah,
fried
you
bird
can't
guy.
be deep frying birds.
That's why Nez's fire alarm was going off so bad the other day because they're trying
Oh
to
my
protect against somebody
God,
deep frying a
man.
bird at his apartment complex down there in Texas.
Seriously,
that
the
shit's
whole place is
happening.
gonna burn down.
Nah, man, I'm spatchcocking it. We're going to the oven. Just nice little 2.5 hour little fry on that guy. But no deep fry.
Nice. Beautiful. Dealer's choice, man. What do you want to draft? We got
Well,
we got a little bit of
Yeah, let's go turkey again since I'm second on the docket. We're not gonna overdo it too much. I'll make it harder on the next guys to pick if they want to do a different contest or not. But yeah,
No,
let's fire at it.
if we it depends on like what we roll to. We can always kind of pivot and take a different route. For
Yeah, if
we
you
did
need
a little sun god.
I expect
last
Easy
one.
to get in here and
Okay.
demand a big turkey. So
Yeah.
Look, all
Friends
I'm
and
saying too
family
is that
here.
like 20K splits very nicely 4 ways. So that's kind of the thesis of the play here.
I love
oh,
that.
I'm out. I have to say in a claw. I can't.
All
I
right,
can't
well,
take
great.
that.
3 ways is
Yeah,
even
it's
better.
3
guys.
ways. Yeah,
I
it's
love
3
some decimal
ways.
points. Like,
3 ways, and I'll give a good golf clap. So
R.I.P.
good to have you back on the stream, Neumy.
I appreciate it. It's been a minute. I feel like it's like every time I come on like once a week, it's like I've been like gone for like a year. It's crazy.
I feel like you have to come in and just defend yourself for all the drafts you've booted. No.
That's why he's around. That's why he's around.
That's good. That was good.
All right, I'm gonna get ahead of it. I'm gonna say this is definitely CD for me. Like I'm not
Okay.
overthinking it if this guy takes CMC, and if he doesn't take CMC, then we'll take CMC. So it's a pretty smooth 1-2 for me. I'm not gonna Galbrain it too hard.
We'll see, man.
I'm down to get funky
Schmohawk is
after it, but
Schmohawks is a grinder. He's in the old community as well. He might do something crazy. You know,
he's taking Tony Redacted 101.
See, I
Oh,
told
CD.
you.
Okay, there you go. I don't hate it.
Man.
All right,
Flipping the
I'm
board
taking
on
CMC, man. The Seahawks are not good against the run. They didn't
Yeah.
it was a bad matchup last week. I mean, yeah, it's a short week, but he'll eat. He's at least getting a touchdown. We know that much. So bank that.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Oh yeah,
Let's
see,
go ahead.
Schmohawks is
Bank
here,
that
man.
16. Bank that 16 points and go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink that. I'm down to get funky elsewhere. But the top 3 picks, I'm just riding with. Oh, Gibbs 3. Okay.
Let's go. This is getting a little. Numi's like getting ready to toss this shit. He's like,
Yeah,
you
this-
didn't go. You didn't go CD, CMC, Amon Ra first 3. You gotta punt this thing off the bridge.
If we go 3
Oh.
quarterbacks after this, Numi's licking his fucking chops, man. He's like, oh, can't wait to get rid of this one.
Pushing the button. See ya.
The
Terminated.
big red button.
He's got his
He just
finger
got it
hovering.
in like a glass case, and he just opens it and he just.
No, I imagine Newbie having like
Dude, what is
special
going
gloves.
on? What is going on?
Okay, go back.
Purdy.
Whoa.
All right,
I
here
mean,
we go.
CMC Sun God would have been hit Demont. Let's double it up at RB.
Yes.
We're going high fucking T. The T is for
Yes.
turkey,
You
not
guys like
testosterone.
Demont more than Pollard, huh?
Oh,
Yes, easily.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
all right,
yeah.
guys. You guys do realize that you just by doing this, you just give up a CD Pollard Dak team, right?
Good for Schmohawks.
Oh, he didn't even take it.
So Pollard is making. Numi
Um,
can't wait to
Dude,
throw this
this
shit
is
in the trash.
This is nuts, man. This is
Let's
nuts.
see. Well, we can't take.
And now
Pollard,
we can't
so-
even take him.
hit wide receiver there.
We got the DK stuff. We
This
also
isn't a
got
fun tier.
Kittle.
Hit Kittle.
Kittle
Yeah,
or
hit Kittle.
Laporta.
Hit Kittle.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough tier, but thankfully, like now that we have like Prescott and Purdy gone, like it does make it easier for building stacks. Like I love when they go early, And then now you just know, like, okay, I'm building like any of these 4, and the receivers are just always there. So it is kind of nice. But this is the goofiest room I've seen, and I've done like 100 of these.
Yeah.
Well, there's to Neumy2's point where he says the goofy ones always come from 4 red badges trying to fucking Galbrain it up.
Yeah. I'll say too, like, I mean, I know it's like against our correlation narrative and love, but like I'm kind of been really into just taking like naked quarterback and for uniqueness play, because it is a big draft, and it's just like I just try to get some combos that maybe you just hit the slot machine right and it kind of works out there.
I forget last year, wasn't it Mac Jones? And was he stacked with anyone?
I can't remember if he was stacked.
Ooh, I mean, like, again, like, I don't hate taking Goff here just because
we don't have to yet. But
we don't have to. No, it's true. It's true. Okay, so then
we have to take a wide receiver.
Cooks. I like Cooks. Like, let's get some leverage off of CD going.
Okay.
Sure.
Double down on the on the pick'em. I like it.
Yeah, let's do Cooks, and then now our quarterback decision.
Roll it out, baby.
Our quarterback decision is going to be kind of interesting because we could go Goff here, right? And then we could do it with like Jameson or Josh Reynolds or something Galbrain, or you could go like just Goff and Montgomery. We don't know who the pass catcher is, and then take a different pass catcher. What do you guys like?
I don't mind Goff because I think he could spread it out. And with JMO coming on, like he catches a bomb that kind of takes away from Sun God. Like you get a couple touchdowns to David Montgomery, but it's just like you're getting down there through passing. I think it's interesting. You can never tell me not to draft Sam Howell as a bring back
UNC boy, Tar Heel. I kind of think
I
might have to. We might have to like play the. We might have to play your hit. Man,
play the hits.
The alma mater. I think we might have to go alma mater here.
I don't mind it if just from the.
Okay, well then, you guys
have to.
How
you guys goofed it. If you wanted to go alma mater, we don't take quarterback first. We take someone else.
And then we take a quarterback anyways? What are you talking about? We literally just took a quarterback.
Yeah, I know, because this guy didn't need to take quarterback. But he
literally just took I don't know what you're talking about. He just took a quarterback.
Okay, so like this guy has double Detroit, right? So I was like, if you let Goff, if you take Sam, he's never going to take Sam Howell away from you. So you have to make your decision on the skill position player first, then take Sam Howell.
I was panicking, John. I couldn't see the board.
So it was Terry McLaurin was the answer there, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all right.
Yeah,
we'll pivot. I will say
right.
I'm
we're gonna get JMO on the bring back.
I'm a
JMO. Yeah, do you want to do the JMO one?
Yeah.
We could do.
I don't see him going often enough where it's like I'm concerned really about him being too chalky. So I think that's again, let's pray for a JMO deep bomb.
And you guys like that construction more than like Lockett or Reed or Watson, right?
Yeah, I think you need, because without anybody pairing with Goff, I mean, you kind of just have to tell yourself that this.
Well, we had Montgomery.
Yeah, but Montgomery to Goff, like.
Yeah, I know it's thin.
To be, I mean, dude, Montgomery's projection for receiving yards is 5.5 yards. Like, we need a pass catcher.
I'm gonna tap into Overzet logic here and say that like sometimes the grossest teams are the best teams, guys. All right.
Yeah. The OG.
I mean, we did just get the grossest team. Okay, well, if we don't goof that, who do we take instead of like with the Sam Howell stack? Would you have ran Sam Howell naked or would you have stacked him?
No, I'd try to stack him because he's just going to pass it so much. One of my favorite teams, actually, I got F1 and Dotson like late. Stacked it with Howell because I just got. I might have
do the double stack.
I might not have Howell on that one. Yeah, but I don't know. They're going to pass so many times. It's just a matter of like, can he actually get the ball past the line of scrimmage because he's getting sacked, too often by Micah Parsons.
Right.
So, I'm not concerned about the pass volume by any means.
It's interesting, man. This is a slate where I feel like any QB has like pretty good shots at like leading the slate in points scored.
Besides Geno for me, I'm off.
You don't think Geno has a chance? I low-key think Geno has a chance.
I don't, but it's I don't know.
This is gonna be. I feel like
I'm not
setting up for super negative game script, and this is like sling it Geno, which is like what we were seeing whenever he was like looking fun, and they've been kind of good and boring. So if the Niners can push him, I think we see like 40, 40 plus pass attempts and maybe some magic, but that's just me.
Now this is like a classic like Gal Brain redacted showdown move, but have you seen anybody take Drew Lock in a draft yet?
That's so deep. I mean, I don't think you
so
have to
deep.
because you could just do the swap with Gino. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's part of the pretense that like Gino plays, but then somebody bumps an elbow.
That's
you're
what
going
I'm talking about.
Marcus Mariota for Siege back in the day. That's what you're going with.
Something like that, exactly. Yeah, for real. But this has been a pleasure, guys. I really do appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, this is a blast, man.
Sorry, I'm moving around and messing around. There you go. Yeah, no, it's long overdue, Clay. Good to get you back on. Nice that we did football instead of hoops this time too.
Yeah, man.
That's
let's
good.
do hoops. Let's do hoops soon as well. I would love to tap in.
Hell yeah.
Afternoon hoop stream.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have yourself happy Thanksgiving and all that good stuff. We got to ask favorite on your way out the door. Favorite scroll the F down for the turkey slate that we just hit.
So it's tough, right? Because if you're scrolling too far, it's not really a viable play. I will say, like, I am trying to take Jameson Williams as often as possible because I don't think he's getting drafted as much as people were fearing he will. Like in a lot of drafts, I see him either go undrafted or like I'm taking him at the very like last round. So I'm not quite as concerned with that. But if we want to also go on brand, then it's get Kraft in there. Let's get a little crafty with it.
Yes,
I
love
go.
it. Tucker Kraft.
Yeah,
Okay, Clay, before we give you the boot here, I gotta see. Is that Mr. Good Boy on the bed behind there? What am I looking at?
Mr. Good Girl. Hey, Lila.
Lila, nice name.
Lick herself, but hey. All right, easy killer.
What is
today,
she?
So.
Golden Doodle or something like that?
Yeah,
Doodle?
yeah, Golden Doodle.
Yeah.
I don't do well with the hair, so we got her from a very nice family breeder up in upstate New York. But she's amazing. Love her dearly.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lot of fun, a lot of personality.
Doodle boys over here, man.
Yeah,
Doodle boys over
Doodle
here.
crew.
Yeah, she's great.
All right.
Man, so
love it, Clay, man. Appreciate you taking the time, bro. That was a lot of fun.
Pleasure. Yeah, absolute pleasure. Appreciate you guys. Have a great turkey day.
Peace, Clay. Good luck with the hosting.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thank you. Likewise. Back at you.
Thank you. And then Neumy.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip here quick before our other guest gets. I gotta get going. I got back. We got dinner reservations, so I apologize. This is a later stream as you guys have started to flip it around. But I just want to say I appreciate everything, all the kind words that Oaks was saying, everyone was saying in the chat. And I will say I'm watching fill rates. If you guys are up later tonight, if you guys are up in the morning, I'm dropping some fun little tiny contests. There'll be smaller stuff, but like I'm gonna be in my bag. I'm gonna be up early, like 6 a.m. God's time. That's Central Time, so 7 Eastern probably. And I will be. I'll be just. I'm just. It looks like everything's gonna fill pretty quick, so I'll be dropping some fun little things out there for the people. So just be out there, be ready, follow Underdog Drafts. I might not even have enough time to pump out as many tweets for how many contests, little fun ones I'll drop. But yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you, bros. Easy, I saw you in there. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. And yeah, appreciate you all. Peace, friends.
Peace,
Neumy. As Neumy just alluded to, Easy's here with us. Deposit Kingdom legend, been on in the past with us. How you doing, my friend?
What up? I guess Neumy didn't want to share the stage. He's this Twins Yankees rivalry, but they finally got a playoff win for the first time in his
nice.
In his life. So I don't know, no bad blood there.
I wish you guys could see him behind the scenes. He's flipping off the camera. He has not left the green room. He is still flipping off the camera. He's pissed. He can't believe
he just pulled Winnie the Pooh off the wall. What's he doing? Oh man. Easy, before we chat, shout out to our guy Emo Cowboy dropping us in there with the cool 569 right as we hit 69 viewers. So freaking on brand for the Emo Cowboy. Shout out to you too, Tyler. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Easy for the people, if they have not been paying attention up until this point, one of my favorite quotes, in which I keep going back to, was a little screen grab of you saying that you'll go anybody on the BadgeBros hashtag list and Mount Rushmore for roles, and you, my friend, thus far in the BBM streets have really backed it up. Because if people aren't paying attention, Easy's got some some big time teams leading the charge there. Why don't you fill us in on all that and your basically what you've been tracking with the BBM stuff?
Yeah. I guess, what is it, through 11 weeks? So we got a couple more to go. But with the top 10Ks, I've been tracking the performance of those. And also, Deposit Kingdom folks, like advance rates. And like now that they released the full contest not standings, but all the rosters, there's a lot of cool tools around. You can track each lobby scoring and all that. So it's been fun. Doing pretty well so far, like advancing 51 teams, which is kind of silly.
That's wild.
8 top 10Ks for now. That number's been coming down. Like at one point it was like 10 or 11. It's coming down a little bit, but so far so good. I mean, I kind of went like my thesis this year was kind of just like completely disrespect EDP. And just like go all in on my guys. And so far so good, but we still got, a month of the regular season. And then obviously most of the money is in the playoffs. So
I know one of those guys was like the big dog, Derrick Henry. Who else? Who's another like really strong stance for you?
I've got 45% Derrick Henry. Next up is Taysom, 34%. Mike Evans.
That's
That's my top 3. Like if you look at my exposures, it's not like, oh, I absolutely crushed my all-in guys. It like I missed on half or more of my all-in guys. Like I don't know if you'd call Derrick Henry miss. Like his advance rate is like decent so far, and he's still healthy, so it's still fine.
Yeah, as long as
like Daniel Jones, my top. Yeah, Daniel Jones, my top drafted quarterback, 25%. Like he was bad, and then out for the year. Eli Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, Rashad Penny. I've gotten 0 out of all those guys. And to me, best ball is a game of like your hits matter a lot more than your misses, and try and construct teams so that things can come together for you. When you're right, you're right. So we'll see how it goes. But
and you had a pretty strong fade on Tony Redacted as well. Am I right?
I think I have one accidental.
Or one for the good guys, baby.
Yeah.
That's also a big part of it too, right? Is like missing on those high value or high cost busts. And I mean, and you can, Tony Pollard is healthy, which like when you look at a team that's advancing, like you are literally just looking for healthy bodies. And I mean, but Tony, man, Tony, that not falling for that Tony stuff. And I mean, we all did. How could we not?
Yeah.
I mean, that was
I'm right fucking here, Nez. I'm literally right here.
I'm the Tony guy now. That's my crown.
I've been I took a lot of shit for exactly 1 week from Davis Maddock and the like, when he had 24 or so points in week 1.
Nothing worse than receiving shit from Maddock too, right? Like,
yeah, no, he's flip-flopped the other way. Now I'm sort of like starting to slowly buy back in on Tony Pollard. But yeah, I just kind of went like all in or all out.
Yeah.
And kind of got, I don't know if you say lucky. I think there's, some element of like predictability to things, but yeah.
I'd love to talk about the overarching exposure, because like for me, like 48% of like Derrick Henry, primarily a second round pick. Some of that must have been in the third round early on, something like that. But like that seems like crazy exploitative and like a very high risk maneuver and whatnot. Yeah. Is that something you were comfortable with going into it? It was just kind of like, hey man, I'm putting up my 3750 and I'm just going to treat it as like, that's the pile. I'm going to allocate how I see fit. It wasn't like, hey, balance my range. Hey, work for some min caches and try and hit the nuts somewhere, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not. That's definitely like, I think you have to know your strengths, and I'm definitely not a balanced GTO guy. Very exploitative, especially in this contest, because it's fairly top heavy and hard to get there. So my thesis was, and it may be wrong because the Texans defense doesn't look that bad. I was like, I want to show up to week 15 with as many Derrick Henry teams as possible. That was literally my number one goal. So hopefully that number is like large, and hopefully that works out. It actually kind of lucked into me getting a bunch of CJ Stroud teams as well.
Yeah, nice.
To me, I don't know if you call that luck or if that's part of the thing, right? But
yeah, well, to me that just screams like, I mean, we look at Crane's team last year and be like, hey, that was the only team that had Tyquan Thornton on it because, he was working in that week 17, blah, blah, blah. Like this, to me, the thesis around you being in on Henry, maybe it's a byproduct that you're lucky that Trout's so good, but you were week 17 minded, which led you to that. So I think the thesis holds true. I think that's pretty sharp, regardless whether you call it luck or variance, right?
Yeah, and it's concentrated bets. Like besides like the Henry thing is like half of a meme. Taysom Hill is like half a meme too, but I just like it's the archetype of a guy that I really like, where when you're right, it really smashes for you. And when you're not, you could survive it, especially just the positional allocations and targeting certain profiles. And then talking about like correlation and stuff, like I spent the whole summer like building like this correlation tool and like running a lot of my drafts through that. So I'm not only just picking guys that I like, I'm like looking at projections, looking at ranges of outcomes, and looking at correlation. So like my advance rates so far seem high, but also I would say I'm a lot more week 15 through 17 minded than most of the pool as well. So hopefully I peak then. And yeah, and it's a good thing. Like, maybe Derrick Henry in and of himself is not great, but a lot of those teams have Stroud, Schultz, Nico Collins. And it's like, when that's right, you've just elevated your entire team. You made one bet, and it's not even saying like, oh, I love the Texans. It's like, if I'm right about the Texans, let me just get 3 to 4 spots correct.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing. It's like 3 to 4 spots allocated to a team that was vastly underpriced, that is vastly overperforming. And not only does like that help you advance, but like your textures are obviously going to be different on each of those teams. So you are bringing in a lot of different builds along with those teams, which is like really, really important, obviously, right? I mean, I think with a lot of these people, I would think, the average person that has like really high advance rates probably has very concentrated exposures, just like in general. So I think that kind of like separates you from that pack, and that you have different stacks and combinations along with those high exposure guys that just so happen to absolutely smash.
Yep. Yeah, the top leaderboards are like total sickos with their exposures, and they just like crushed it. Mine has a lot of misses, which, if I were to go back and do it next year, like I think I would do the same thing. I know I've seen like a lot of sharp people talk about, play the ADP game and have a balanced range, and like I get that, but you make the finals so infrequently.
Tell me about it.
I just want. Yeah, in this contest, right? Like if we're doing like smaller field, like the big dogs and like Danes and stuff like that, I was less into Henry because I didn't think you needed. I didn't think you needed to go all in. I think those, you advance more in each playoff round. For me, it was very specific strategy with like 1 out of 16 advance. So I just wanted those differentiators, and it also kind of impacted my quarterback strategy. I drafted a lot of 3 quarterback, which kind of led me to Stroud. So a lot of factors, like, just not just like total donkey brain.
Well, I really like that show. Just, recognizing that how different BBM, like we all throw it under this best ball umbrella and whatnot, but recognizing how different BBM is comparative to some of those other contests and whatnot. But I'll ask you this year, because you were kind of like ahead of the curve in terms of like the tool that you built last year, and we ran the show on that and then utilized that. Now with so much more data readily available, like we can literally search a website right now and I can see the score of all your teams, the date in which it was drafted, blah, 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 right? As that kind of like next threshold and next tier of data has been released by Underdog and blah, 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 where do you think the future is? Where do you think the edge is? Where is something that we can learn and get better at for next year from this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have to like analyze. It's probably better to do it after the season, not just because we'll have more data. Like, the season's only 70% done or whatever. But like just looking at frequency, I think stack frequency is still way under utilized by the field. And we'll look at weeks 15 through 17 stacking as well. Like week 17 stacking is mainstream in our parts of the world, but like what percent of the population are we? I think there's like 1,000 or so 150 maxers. So
wow.
So like that's a lot, but
I mean, we didn't.
I mean, I thought it would be. I mean, like I thought it'd be a little bit more. You know.
Yeah, and then so that means that there's like 400,000 or 500,000 entrants that didn't max, and obviously you could still be very sharp with 99 or 5 lineups, but there's a lot, like a huge portion of the field doesn't do a lot of teams, and I think you have to just like push your edge as far as stacking, correlating. And this year for me, we'll see how it plays out. I stacked week 15 and 16. It's really hard for a hand builder to like be conscious of all these things. You have to be conscious of ADP, roster construction, draft capital, correlation in week 17. But like 1 out of 16 teams advance and I keep saying it. So broken record, but like those things matter, and it's so hard to keep track of all of them. I think there's going to be a lot of good tools. Like I know Brick, for example, starting to get into the BR streets a little bit, and that's kind of scary.
It is.
So we'll you got to keep him like away. But yeah,
it takes too much effort, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, but I think like drafting is still a lot of effort, right? It's a long draft, but if you have tools and like resources to help you think through all the nuance, I think that's the biggest edge.
Cool. No, I really like that, man. I really like what you've done this far. I really like that you called your shot. I hope it comes to fruition for you, man. I hope it keeps pushing in this direction that runs parallel to this. You brought up the BR stuff. You've been doing a little bit of the hoop stuff. I've noticed you in the streets there. Noticed you in the BR streets more this year. Do you think you can kind of like apply that same kind of like macro thought process that you had for BBM to the daily kind of contests, or are they a different beast? What are you finding out so far?
Yeah, for sure. Hoops, I kind of took my ball and left because I'm bad at the late swap stuff. And it's just such a, like, there's so many edges that people are, and I don't know hoops at all. So I was just kind of auto drafting based on a combination of like ADP and, some early rankings and stuff, and like did fine. I just play way too exploitatively, and it just is not conducive to like the amount of effort I was putting in. So I just took my ball, went home. Tip my cap to Andy and crew there.
Yeah.
But for BR, like I know the game, and I enjoy for the most part when I like have the time to do the drafts. So I would love to see like the full pool, because like I anecdotally I think stacking and correlating are still good, and you can kind of measure those. But I'd love to see how often the field does it. John Boy does like some stuff around top 20 teams, top 40 teams. And we've seen, the user submitted boards, but it's, small sample, yada, yada. I'd love to know, like in 6-mans, like how often is a quarterback stacked with 1 or 2 pass catchers? And then we can try and figure out how optimal that is. So like that I think is going to be huge next year. And it's like, it's scary because like once that data gets out, like I care about this stuff, but there's like a lot smarter people than me that are going to be looking at it. So
that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. So like maybe it's going to net. I don't think it'll net hurt, because I think there's only a handful of people that like it's worth their time and are smart enough to figure that stuff out.
Right.
But, so those people will get a big edge, but like we should be able to like understand like, hey, the field is only stacking 30%, but like your top 1% of lineups stack 70%. I'm making it up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I think that kind of information is going to be really critical.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. It's going to be we're teetering on that territory of like when DFS transitioned from like play the best plays, and the best plays will make you money even if you put them in a GPP, to full sim bro, right? Yeah. And we're kind of like 4 years behind the DFS world. And now it's kind of slowly, as the data becomes more readily available, picking up, right?
Yep.
Have you been doing any of the turkey stuff? Have you been doing any of the hoop stuff today? If we want to pick a pick'em thing to add, if we want to pick a draft to do you have any preference in the matter?
Yeah, I've got like a guaranteed pick'em winner. Like guaranteed.
Oh yeah. Yes. That's what we pay you for.
The problem is like we got to get this in before Mamba like versus team takes it off too. But
okay.
Yeah, it's just
Should you whisper it and
We
then
can, yeah, you can put it in
Yeah,
the
I'll try
private
and do
chat,
the-
and maybe
the
we
listen
like
more.
drop it once
No, I don't think
after our last
it's
guess.
it's like it's the sports books have like more or less the same line, so it's not like one of those like, oh, I'm like, taking Mamba's shirt and like pulling it over his head or
Right.
something. But
You just like the prop.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, well, we could do the same thing as we did with Clay, and we could build the easy one if we have a couple other ones to add to it, or we could just leave it in the queue and hope for the best.
yeah. It's Lions, first game of the slate, so you'll know like when this misses, then you just like rebuild another pick'em. But so Clay was close. I think he gave you, what did he give you? Montgomery rushing yards.
Yeah, he gave us Montgomery rushing yards and then the Tucker one and the Cooks one.
So that probably hits, but over 14.5 rush attempts is just like the stonest lock that I've ever fucking seen.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's such a huge run funnel, and like Green Bay is going to be like, I think a sneaky thing matchup wise, like not only is the Green Bay defense a run funnel, but also their offense is like, it being banged up is only going to lead to Detroit possibly controlling the ball even more. So yeah, I really like the attempts over here.
I like that shout.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of looking at that game, especially when you throw the context of the Green Bay health stuff on it as well. Should we try and sneak this one under the radar right now and add a couple things to it, or should we save it on the side screen for the official end of show build?
Do you have anything else? You
I
got
have another one. This one was
Okay.
like, in case this one got cucked, I had a gross one. But it's like anti-correlation with what Mamba gave out in the 49ers game. And this one is just like, you hate fun, or maybe you actually like fun if you like this one. I don't know.
Okay.
I know we've given out like some kicker stuff. So Brandon Moody.
What do you like?
Eating this
I'm
up,
sorry,
man.
Jake Moody. I'm confusing him with Brandon Aubrey.
Moody.
So
I never once knew
Jake
Moody's first name.
So
I knew.
Yeah,
I just
gun
know
to my
he's
head.
Moody.
Gun to my head. If you asked me his first name, you'd be pulling the trigger. I had no idea.
So what is it here? I'm curious.
Under 7.5 kicking points. The thesis behind the play is that like Seattle over the past month or so, their red zone defense has been just awful. And San Francisco is just like possibly the most efficient offense that any of us have, ever seen. So, and I think also like bright lights with like Thanksgiving, they're going to be more likely to, this is just like, I'm making stuff up.
We just got doxed easy.
No way.
That's crazy. Well, why don't we do the 1.5 field goals?
We
That's
just
kind of
got
the same.
doxed.
I don't like that one as much because I think, you had some outs to like,
They're definitely scoring one touchdown.
Points.
They're definitely scoring one touchdown.
Oh, they're scoring 3 touchdowns.
So if they're scoring 3 touchdowns,
yeah, take the field goals.
one-
I like the 7.5 was a gold star play. 1.5 under is like a silver star.
I feel like it's the same thesis.
It's a very similar thesis, like just red zone efficiency. You had outs to where for some reason they kick 2 field goals and like 1 extra point, or like they just go for 2 a bunch or like something.
Right.
So it's like, if I was pretending to be sharp handicapper, like I could, make an argument, but yeah, it's good enough for our purposes. Just take down 1.5 here. Like, San Francisco is going to score a bunch of touchdowns.
Okay.
I like it.
Now, do we like something else to add to it, or are we just playing this one as 2?
No, you can't do the 2. You can't do the 2. You gotta pretend that we're being plus EV here.
Right.
You gotta go 3s or 5s. I would second Clay's, like Brandon Cooks has been one of my key like guys that I like on the slate for sure.
I like it. What's your favorite Brandon Cooks number?
Probably the receptions. Okay. I think you have a decent bit of push equity, but like I think the rush and receiving is a good line as well.
Let's do it.
That's fun.
There we go. I'm really into this Montgomery one. So if we're gonna gold star lock something for
Montgomery
main final one, it's the Montgomery attempts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, are they listening to the show? Like, can I
They
talk
listen.
more
They
about
listen
why
to
I like it or
everything.
what? Like,
They're in our phones. They're in our computer. I have no idea.
their last game. Is that too soft? Their last game, David Montgomery had 31 rushing attempts, and that was at Green Bay. And I know Gibbs didn't play, but
Dude, I know Gibbs
okay.
is like so sexy and fun, and he's here and he's the rookie, but like this is such a fucking
Bro.
David Montgomery game. It's not even funny. It's
Yeah,
not
the
even
only problem
funny.
is if it becomes like a Craig Reynolds game or something because they're just like up by a billion. But Jordan Love is going to get his teeth kicked in, I think.
I'm at 42% David Montgomery on the turkey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's smash. Let's smash this shit.
Easy. I imagine we're going back to the turkey here, but is there anything else that draws your eye on here? Nope.
Yeah, I think, dude, I'm a sucker. Like, I'm not a super profitable player in the dailies, but like, just give me the highest prize for first place, and we'll
easy enough, man.
Hope to get there someday.
All right,
works for us.
Yeah, so the four's tough. We're gonna have to.
4 is tough.
No one's gonna concede one of the top 3 to us. So you got to get.
Are you so like? You seem very aligned with me on thinking that the Lions just like steamroll the Packers.
Yeah.
Are you like are you into doing double running back from Detroit?
How frequent do you think that like how often do you think people get it? Like is that combo low?
People are not doing that,
right?
People are not doing that.
Yeah, I think I've done.
He was switching tabs. I've done this. He was
switching tabs and iced himself.
Yeah. He has the link right there. He is.
I guess I got way too excited over
David Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, I think like my lean from the 4 spot this week has been like double tapping San Francisco, and you just hope that the 101 doesn't purdy you.
Sure.
But I really don't hate the double RB, especially if like Antonio Gibson plays. Like I don't think he's viable, but he kind of hurts B-Rob. So now like
right,
and then there's AJ Dillon question. So like, all right, now, sorry, all this goes out the window. You take him on Raw every time. Yeah,
that's awesome.
All right, so Amon Ra, and then who do you guys envision pairing with him next? Like, do you like to do one of the Detroit running backs with him? Do you like to go the Dak angle? I presume that's everybody's favorite quarterback. The Ayuk or Kittle? What do you guys like?
Easy. I'll leave it up to you.
I'm fine with Montgomery here because I think Gibbs is going to be paired with Amon-Ra much more often playing the pass game, and I think you just try and get all the touchdowns this way. So I think that's your best path to like uniqueness and ceiling.
Cool. Like the thesis. Yeah.
So are you, I feel like this is like a running question now with all our guests today. Tucker Kraft, in or out?
Like he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's going to be probably very highly owned in, DFS, but there's a salary there.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the worst. Like, I don't know. Like how much of the contest has been drafted?
Almost all of it.
73%, 78%.
There's going to be swaps too.
Yeah. So like, some will swap, but yeah, I think Tucker Kraft is probably a good play. Like I had a good bit of Musgrave early, so I'll be moving Kraft above Logan Thomas because I would prefer that swap. And he's got a good like athletic profile. John, you mentioned like they drafted him in the 3rd round after taking Musgrave in the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that.
We're at 81% right now. So if we want to Galbrain it, we're at 81% drafted right now. And the quote unquote sharp community that's going to, I'll talk about it after here. Goff comes back to us if we want to do the onslaughty kind of thing there. We could do like Laporta and Goff.
Can you just show me the board? Because only one other person is Johnny going to take Goff. I mean, I would go Debo here. I think Debo, like we could use a receiver, and I think he's got unique upside on the slate, plus kind of leverage off of CMC. So then if we don't go Goff, then we still can do we can do a Love Watson type thing later.
Yep, for sure.
So I'm not I would like to see if Goff falls. If you guys
So we take
agree.
Ferguson here then?
We could do Ferguson, or we could just get super go Laporte or something, and just hope that Goff comes back. Is that
right.
too thin?
No, it's not.
Nope. Let's do it. Let's force his hand.
Yeah, and then
we can still do a skinny if we get cucked.
Yeah, and then we can go skinny Love. Yeah, so he might be setting up his own Love as well.
It certainly looks like it, and he's got a badge, so we can kind of think that he's thinking that way, thinking a little forward. So
can't get that song out of my head now.
What?
Bon Iver, Bon Iver, Skinny Love. Come on, Skinny Love. Like real high like that.
I didn't peg you for a Bon Iver guy, John. This is
I'm not. I just know the song.
I don't even know that song.
As soon as Easy said Skinny Love.
That's funny. I'm so late to the hoop slate. I just saw Bam is rolled out. Now I've got all these swaps to set up. Jesus Christ.
Classic hoops.
Never hoops.
Never hoops. Never
I told myself I wouldn't, and here I
think
am.
it's why I lost in hoops, because I just I never set up swaps. I was like, ADP's good enough, and that's for sure.
I mean, it kind of is.
Don't do that.
It kind of is. Just hope you get the best.
ADP is okay. Okay, so the thesis worked. We pushed Goff all the way back to us now. Now we have a decision at the flex. We got Brian Robinson. We got AJ Dillon. We could do the Brandon Cooks thing. Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, or scroll the F down. What do you got for me? Easy.
Definitely Goff. Could I see tight end? We probably don't want to do double tight end. If it was there, whatever, So then receiver. So to me, it's between Dobbs I like Cooks, but I don't know if Cooks makes as much sense here as Dobbs, or we just go with AJ Dillon.
Either or, you pick.
No, screw AJ Dillon. I'll just go Dobbs and play for the touchdown. And he's not even 100% drafted, right?
No, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, just setting up a little correlation there. He's not my favorite down guy, but yeah, I like Dobbs just fine in this team.
That's my first Romeo Dobbs share. So if this one wins, we'll know.
I don't have any.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to do it in someone else's $5 than my own, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because I was doing Watson and Reed over him and kind of flip-flopping between those two. This is the first time I've done the 4 Detroit side, though. The slate does feel like it sets up nicely for this onslaughty stuff. I'm not sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't how perfect do you need to be? I'm not sure, but this could be very well perfect on only 3 games. And here we just have a fade of the Dallas game, and maybe Dallas goes off, but tacking on Brandon Cooks here, it's if Cooks gets there, Dak is gonna get there type thing. So I'm just saying, let me just get 40 points from Detroit first, and then I just enjoy the rest of my day.
Nice. Yeah, no, I like that thesis a lot. I think it's something that kind of goes overlooked on a macro standpoint. One thing you said there, just go on and enjoy your day. One thing that I've been thinking about when I've been drafting these is how much more enjoyable that Thanksgiving Thursday will be for people just sweating these versus having to worry about all the late swap on redacted. You are just getting absolutely killed if you start boozing with your family midday after those games and you're not playing the late swap game on redacted. You're just lighting it on fire. Out here, you don't have to worry about it at all. You just set and forget.
Yeah. I'm going to try and balance that, but probably a losing proposition. I'm definitely not an advantage player on Thursday. Definitely losing to the people that are, on their computers on the redacted sites. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, we gotta ask you. Crutches is here. Oh, I spoiled our next guest. We got one in the holster right now. Coming on next here, easy. I got to ask you the definitive questions of the program here. You gave us the David Montgomery one already. Who is your favorite scroll the F down on the turkey thus far?
For me, it's one of the Washington receivers. I'm a homer for Jahan Dotson. I think his upside, he's got insane upside, but in his surprising to see him go undrafted here. But I was actually going to say Curtis Samuel, just to say a guy that's like probably 20% owned. I think the matchup profiles really well for him. Like Sam Howell was taking a bunch of sacks early in the year, but with the exception, like he took 9 against the Giants, which was kind of crazy. But they've pivoted a bit. Like they dropped back a bunch, but like they've pivoted more to like short area stuff. And I think Dallas plays a lot of man or some BS that, you know, fancy people like to write about. But it makes sense. I think they might attack, like run a lot of short area stuff. And I think Curtis Samuel is like not a high upside conventional stuff. Plus he got thrown out of the game last week, sticking up for his guy, Sam Howell. Maybe they feed him.
Love that.
I just made that stuff to support my thesis. I decided who I liked and then find stuff.
No, I do think there's something to the box score, right? You open the box score and you see like that game dudded, and then the game before like was like an odd dud as well against Seattle. Nobody's clicking Curtis Samuel, man.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I'll add one more to you guys. Is over the last 2 games, Brian Robinson's had 11 receptions in those 2 games without Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson limited twice this week. Antonio Gibson doesn't play, but Curtis Samuel is the benefactor of those targets because Brian Robinson's not that good at catching footballs. He just got lucky for 2 games.
I like it.
I mean, that works.
Yeah. We're just spin zone.
Yeah, like that's like fantasy football, like 101 is just like pick what you like, and then you like there's so many content creators and like different advanced stats. Like you can find something to support your stance.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. What are you doing for the holidays, my friend? And what is the 101 of Thanksgiving sides?
Going to visit my folks. Mom makes a great spread. My 101 is cornbread.
Ooh, okay.
But honestly, like I think the Thanksgiving food is bad and we only cook it once a year is like the most overplayed, like trash take. And I'll like go to war with like all of you guys. It's like the reason you don't do it is because like it takes days for you to put it together.
Right.
Like my mom's been like slaving away. Like she's asking us to contribute dishes. Like I'm making stuff. I don't know. It's just a lot of work to put together, and it's just like super gluttonous, which is very American.
Yes,
and I just love it.
Yeah,
It's like football's on like literally all day. Like comfort food. Like you eat for an hour, you go watch the game, you take a nap, you come back, you like pick on it a little more. The leftovers are great. I like. There's not a single thing on the Thanksgiving table that I don't like.
You're converting me from. I was an Oaks stan when he initially said the take. I'm being converted here, Easy. But you bring out a really good case here that I have to respect.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a special day. Like you gotta tip your hat to greatness. I think
a little bit of culture that we have here that is like actually like not, you know. It's
I'm a sucker for
family,
traditions, man.
Family eating football, booze, like
exactly.
Count me in, man.
Oh man. All right, love it. Appreciate you, Easy. Good luck with the BBM stuff. Good luck in the turkey slate, man. Props to you for doing so well thus far. I hope it carries on for you, bro.
Likewise. Happy holiday. Enjoy the rest of your stream here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dan.
Cheers. Thanks, bro. See you, man. All right. I already messed up and introduced our next surprise guest, and now we got this. Crutches, long time no see, my friend, Mr. Miami Bound 2. How you doing, bro?
What's up, guys? Happy early Thanksgiving. Yeah, I've just been grinding NFL today more than NBA, so I'm out here.
Oh, little change of pace, actually.
Change of pace, yeah.
Yeah, you hand building these mostly?
Yeah, I want to max the turkey. I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I want to say I'm through a ton of dog bowls this week already. Yeah, I'm 29 dog bowls in already. Yeah, I find this week very exciting on the dog bowl. I said I was going to do like 63 last week because that was the refund I got from like the promo from the 150 I did. And I only did 50, and I just didn't like. I had some stands last week, but I was like looking ahead, and I was like, okay, only 10 games. It's going to be uglier. That's like more edge for me. So I didn't do the full thing. And this week I'm probably going to go for like 50 to 100. because there's some very hard stands I'm taking this week, if you haven't noticed in my rooms already. So
it's a cool. We talked about it a little bit before. It's interesting that you didn't fully get there or whatever, but just from a thought process standpoint, because I've been telling Nez all year long since he won the seat, ape. Just auto draft if you have to. Just do whatever you have to try and get a second seat. We talked a little bit about it with Dave on Monday. I would love to know your thoughts on the equity or the thought process behind trying to ape for a second seat after you've already got one. Like what kind of edge that would represent.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like pure numbers, I think it's like, I think if you maxed with the promo in place, your EV is like 3841 out of the 3750 buy-ins, based on if you were purely random and making 38.4% of your rebates back plus 27,777 in finals equity. So that's like the pure number. So it's like very slightly EV. It just depends on A, time commitment, and two, I definitely wouldn't auto any dog bowls. I'm not Cognition, my public enemy number one. I was like, just please don't let him win a second seat this week. I cannot have this happen. So
it was looking dicey for a minute there. It was looking dicey for a minute.
Yeah. So no, happy for Dave. That was sick. He was in our group chat, just like, Kyle, when does this lock? Like whatever. And I'm just like, dude, just like DM Neumy, he'll tell you. Like he walked me through it when I was sweating. And it's just so funny because he's early in the 4 o'clock games, he had the nuts team. He was like 129 point something with 2 players. Everyone else had like 125, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get beat. I'm like, you have such an easier sweat than I did. Like, I'm just sitting here like waiting from Ferg." But I was like, I'm glad you had to go through it because it's like not a fun day at all. You're just sitting there like 6 years until it locks.
It's
like,
the fucking worst. It is the most disgusting sweat you will ever have.
Guys, I don't want to fucking hear it. As a guy with no Miami seat who hasn't inched the sweat yet, I don't want to hear about how heartbreaking your sweats are to get a seat here. Carlos' team never sweat, man.
Yeah, that's the nuts.
Yeah, the world's smallest violin. That's so perfect. Turn me up. Love it. Oh man. Crutches, you looking forward to Miami, dude? Have you been doing some prep for that, or are you just solely focused on this slate right now?
No, I'm focused on this slate. I was DMing Dave. It was like he just got his payout, and he was kind of like already talking about like, man, imagine like it kind of sucks. Imagine you get like a bad pick in the draft. And I'm like, dude, I can't worry about that right now. It's like we're weeks out, and like I can't control my draft spot. Like, you know, like this week I hate 1-1. Like 1-1's terrible this week. So it's like you never know on the slate what wins it, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's beyond my control, and I'm just going to draft, you know, whatever. But I think it's 11 games on Miami weekend, so it's a little slightly bigger slate.
It's a pretty loaded slate.
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams on it, so it's not going to be like this week where the quarterback and tight end drop off just goes absolute trash. So
interesting, good to know. I haven't looked at it at all. Like I'd be curious. I mean, I can't imagine it went into their thought process that, hey, when they made the final for week 14, they looked at the slate. I bet you they probably were just like, oh, this is how many weeks add up to go to like whatever. Because I mean, I haven't done any dog bowls yet this week, and it's gonna be really good to talk through it with you, Kyle, because I mean, I'm fresh and starting fresh right now with that sort of thing. But it's cool to know that it's going to be a good, enjoyable slate comparative. That's good.
Yeah, and turn me up noting that like one of the marquee matchups is Buffalo against Kansas City. But low key, man, like that might be kind of like a boon for 2, you know, decent spots if they were in better matchups. I mean, this KC defense looks to actually be kind of a downer for fantasy purposes. And on top of like Buffalo already just like doing whatever they can to kind of disappoint in their fantasy weeks. So that is one game that I'm hoping you know, like I might end up being like preseason. We see that, and that's obviously looks like an exciting game, but maybe come week 14 it becomes something that I'm actually looking forward to not getting to. But thankfully, yeah, the slate does look deep, so I'm not too worried about the RNG of the contest, which is inevitably going to be tilted about one way or another.
Crutches, you said you've been primarily doing dog bowl, but I imagine you still stuck some hoops in today. Who was kind of one of your targets, or your not necessarily scroll the F down, but one of your guys that you tried to get overweight to that you like today in the hoop slate?
Yeah, I only did the 12 and 10 mans today because it's such a massive slate. So
Yeah, it's 14, isn't it?
Yeah,
14,
it's 14
13?
games. And I track my results based on slate sizes too. And I find that over 10 games, it gets a little bit just kind of random based on if you hit the nut combo because there's such good. I mean, you're getting like Tyrese Maxey in the 6 early in the day and stuff. So,
Yeah.
So I would say overall, who am I most over the field on? I haven't checked exposures, but I would guess like Kyle Kuzma facing Charlotte. He's had a 48-pointer against them and then had a down game on a back-to-back against them, or it was not a back-to-back date-wise, but they played each other consecutively. Yeah, I mean, if that game is, I think, a 242 total and like a 3-point spread, so you're praying for Washington to not lay an egg and lose by 30, but I think if that game goes the distance, it might not be the Atlanta game from yesterday facing Indy where they went 300+ point total, but it's going to be fast paced. So
that is insane, man.
How good is Hallie right now? Like, can we just talk about Hallie for a second? Like, how freaking good is Hallie right now?
Yeah, he's almost a must draft, and I think he's facing another decent matchup today. So, and one good signal point that I think we have enough sample that it's interesting to pay attention on in-season tournament days because Dink, I think, pointed this out on the injury show yesterday that he openly said, like, I care about this tournament, basically, like, I want to win it. So, I mean, when I heard that, I was at like 30-something%, and he was already like projecting well. But when you're like tie breaking between, him at like a 3.6 and AD at a 3.9 or whatever it is, like on those really flat ADP days, I'm like, if this guy like wants to win the in-season tournament and he's like, this is his time to show out, and obviously the total is over 250, like you just hammer that guy and hope AD has a good game but not a great game. So
you can kind of say the same thing with the Lakers too, right? Like, I mean, LeBron wants to win any accolade that he can. The Lakers are going to be fired up for that in-season tournament, and they blew the fucking doors off the Jazz. Like, I know they're the better team, but like it was insane how bad they beat down the Jazz. So definitely like some stuff that like in hindsight, I'm like, man, like that does seem like very like there's a lot of equity there that could be had.
That Hallie one is a really good nugget. Well, both those, the Lakers one and the Hallie one, are really good nuggets for those who are going to be foreshadowing to the Friday slate. Because if you look at it on paper, it's Pacers playing their third game in 4 nights, right? And you'd be like, oh, this is probably a Hallie Sid spot. This is probably, not great. And then now knowing the context of Friday night's game being a play-in game, blah, 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 or being a in-season tournament game, like him wanting to play, like, oh yeah, Hallie's going to go, right?
Yeah, you can definitely take some stands on Q tags based on scheduling too. I think I had 0 Embiid today because I'm like, day before Thanksgiving, just played an overtime game last night where he got probably 40 minutes or something in, against Cleveland, another like East rival. So like, I forget who they're playing today, but like,
Minnesota.
So, Minnesota's a good team, but not in their conference. It's
travel day,
too on the injury shows, but like eventually he's always going to get listed with like a hip or something, and then eventually he's going to sit a game, and it's hard to predict when that is. But like I think when it lines up to, hey, they had a huge overtime game, in-season tournament game yesterday, like they get a Wednesday game that's not national TV, that's the day before Thanksgiving, like they're probably just going to sit him, let Paul Reed get some run, and like see what happens. So.
Very, very sharp. Okay, let's talk about some NFL stuff because you are knee deep in the dog bowl stuff, and me have not been yet. Nez, have you been in there yet, or you been focusing on the turkey stuff?
I've only done one dog bowl. I did it on stream with Dave after you had to dip, but I left that dog bowl draft thinking, man, I do not want to draft these. So that is my only one that I've done, and I've been concentrating on the turkey. But yeah, it's pretty nasty. But I am able to speak to like some of the first round stuff, and I am surprised. Like I thought Dave had a really sharp point that like QBs should be pushed up, and I'm surprised that they're like not based on what I'm seeing here. Like Jonathan Taylor versus the Bucks. or Josh Allen against the pass funnel Eagles, like I'm taking Josh Allen 10 out of 10 times. I don't know about you, Crutches, but
yeah. First off, Dave ripped my whole effing flow, as Soldier Boy once said. We were talking like pre-slate drop and looking at the ranks, and I'm just like, I literally said like Josh Allen is 1-1. Like I will take him 1-1 through 110 wherever I can get him. And his ADP started at like 7, and because it's mixed with the BR where people are trying to get like Diggs plus Allen, his ADP is down to like 12 now or 10.6 or something. So it's nice when you get into a room where people will push him because they're looking at that ADP and they're like, okay, well, I won't take him here. And yeah, it was crazy. Like Mahomes was going like a 2 ADP to start, Hurts was 4, and Allen was 7. And it's like pure name value because like Mahomes barely has a 20 fantasy point game like on underdog scoring this year. They have a top 5 defense. Like they have a slow like pace up of play. Like if you look at Thorman's like article, like if I look at the top 3 QBs, Buffalo can get beat on the ground. So I actually like it as a Swift week. I think Hurts has a great floor and a great ceiling, but like he hasn't cracked 30 fantasy points yet this season either. He's kind of, limited by the knee injury and stuff. So Allen, who's had like a bad season, quote unquote, in a huge spot where there's 4 totals in the mid 30s or low 30s in a game that has 2 of the better teams, I would say talent wise in the NFL, against the number 1 run defense and the number 32 pass defense. Like I am out on James Cook. I am in on Allen, probably rushing for 80 yards because it's like a huge must-win type of game for them. I literally wouldn't be surprised if he hit like a 100-yard rushing bonus on redacted or something. Right. Like I could see this being like the 37-pointer that you need, right? And then kind of in conjunction with that, he's starting to rise, but like Gabe Davis is like a bad defense merchant. Like if you look at his splits against like the Jets and good defenses, he does nothing. Like 0s, 4 fantasy points. And then, even his floor is like halfway decent against bad defenses. And then obviously he has that, 20 plus point ceiling. So, trying to stack him and Kincaid, trying to stack him and Gabe Davis. And people are starting to snipe him, but like you give me a naked Allen, like I don't care. He's going to get probably 70, 80 rushing yards and, maybe a touchdown. So
like it. That's a really good shout. I'm just looking at the totals and stuff for the first time here. And just seeing that 48.5 standing out like, head and shoulders above the field right now.
Yeah, I think there's 3 games I've probably drafted the most from. So Bills, Eagles, number 1. Yeah. Probably number 2 is Colts in Tampa. Both quarterbacks are playable. Minshew's had a really bad box scores, and he's played like top 10 defenses like the last 4 weeks in a row, or like defenses, points allowed to quarterbacks. So Minshew is like willing to sling it, and he's facing the 32nd or 31st, like one of the top, worst 2 defenses against the pass. So we've seen them give, I think, up like the overall QB1 like a few weeks in a row. Like Tampa's been horrible. So good
leverage off of JT's ADP as well.
Yeah, and I love JT at ADP as well. Like I could see them just winning that. I mean, that's more of a volume play, and like he's probably going to have a monster game sometime. No matter how good Zach Moss is, they paid him and they're giving him 25 carries almost a game. So I don't mind him like as a like when I don't get to the pass catchers. But yeah, give me like Mike Evans, give me Pittman, give me Josh Downs like all week. Josh Downs is going to crash rich like every single draft. I can't get him. So that's a good sign as well that he's thinking it. And then the other game is actually what am I thinking? Houston, Jacksonville. But the problem with that, in my opinion, is that is actually getting oversteamed. So John, you haven't looked at the ADPs yet. What's Tank Dell's ADP this week, you think?
Well, based on how you're framing it and his recent performances, I guess it's 12.
No, he's 6 overall.
Jesus. Yeah, that's
He's going. I've seen him go. I saw him go 1-3 in another draft ahead of like Stephon Diggs facing the Bills. Like it's insane the steam he's getting. And I posted in our like another group chat I'm in last week, and I kind of asked people like, because I think he was 17 ADP last week, and I was like, do you think he's over or underpriced based on like his lack of name value in his box score? Because I'm usually like fade box score, by mean regression. Right. And I asked it, and people were like, I don't know, either way. And I was very much on the train of like, he's underpriced. he's like legit an alpha, and like people don't really know his name yet, so they're going to bet on mean regression. And this week it's like complete opposite. Like Nico Collins, who also had 11 targets last week, is going at like 32 ADP, and Tank Dell is at 6. Like, give me Nico all day.
Give me Nico all day. Yeah, no, fully agree with you there. That's a good show. Let me take. I want to just look at Texans in general here. I just lost my AirPods for a second. I got to plug in here.
Sorry, my
Well,
fault. My dog was howling.
Pierce going undrafted too. I'm not sure that he comes back this week. I haven't looked at practice reports and stuff like that. Might be a little leverage from that game as well. No, I like your Nico show for sure. Just like comparing those two ADPs, like, man, they're far closer to 1A, 1B than they are, Tank being the alpha who should be going in the first round.
Yeah, I think Sacrilegious talked about this on Chip Chasing last night too. And he's saving a lot of the draft boards, and I was DMing him too. And I don't think he said he hasn't seen one CJ Stroud Nico team. And I even tried to get it today, and people would snipe him at like I would take him at the 1-2 turn, like Stroud at the 1-2 turn, and then 35, 36, like someone would take him right before my turn. Same thing. I took him at like 9. I took Stroud at like 9, and someone reached on Nico again. So it's actually like kind of hard to get. And I think he has a good point. Like the chances of like Nico outscoring, Tank, even if it's like 40-60, like if nobody has that pairing and he goes for, 102, like you're automatically at the top of the leaderboards, basically. So
that makes me feel good.
I think he said he would guarantee that a Nico Stroud team would advance in the dog bowl. So financial advice, apparently.
Wow. That's nutty, man. I mean, my one and only team I did, it has Stroud, Tank, and Nico. So, little Stroud double there. That's interesting. I mean, maybe it's better sans one of them, but damn. John, you plugged in? You dialed in?
I'm good now. Let's do it. All right, now we're good to go. I've asked everyone else, Crutches, for a Scrolly F down in Turkey and stuff like that. Feel free to give me one of those, but I was going to ask you who your favorite Scrolly F down for the dog bowl stuff is, but I think we might have just found it.
Who was that? Sorry.
In Nico.
Nico, he's not scrolling down enough. It's okay. Pop Douglas, probably.
Yes. Okay, going back to your roots with the Kendrick Bourne stuff, but from a different angle.
Yeah, I mean it's a much worse week, so it makes sense to do it. Like if you get 7 to 9 targets and has, let's say he goes like 6 for 60 and falls in the end zone as a 6th rounder on this slate is probably optimal. Like you get 13, 15 points from your 6th rounder, you're probably good. Yeah, and he's totally free. The other one is the one I've been trying to keep under wraps, but he finally has an ADP of 36, but it's Deontay Johnson. Like why is the guy who sees like 11 targets a game and just played Cleveland like getting faded so hard? I will have
tugging at Nez's heartstrings.
Couldn't tell you. And they just threw out that bum ass OC. They kicked his ass to the curb. No more Canada.
Yeah.
We'll see ya.
I'm getting a lot of one-off Pittsburgh pieces. Deontay's my second most owned player overall, and then Jalen Warren right now is my second most owned running back. But I'm Jalen Warren stan.
How can we not be on Jalen Warren? Right. Let's think about what's coming together for Pittsburgh here, shall we? Entertain me for one moment.
Yeah, I think we're going to. Nez.
Jake Browning, starting quarterback. Pittsburgh.
Good Steelers. Good UW boy. Don't besmirch his name.
Oh God, he's so mid.
He's so bad.
Steelers, Matt Canada, out of here. The running back coach is now the offensive coordinator, Eddie Faulkner.
Wow, that's a good Nez Nug.
Shout out Eddie Faulkner. Jalen Warren, obviously the better running back. His own coach is now the offensive coordinator. He's not calling the plays, but he is the offensive coordinator.
Right.
Against a bad Cincinnati team. If the cherry on top for me would be having Minka back. I think that makes a big deal if the defense can like really step up and do their part. That obviously bodes well for Jalen. Need that. Okay. I need that. We need that.
We do need that. I like that. Okay. I want to hop in a dog bowl with you, Crutches, but I want you to add to our pick'em thus far. We have Oaks's with the lower on the CMC. We got the higher on Brandon Cook's receiving yards. We got the higher on rush attempts from David Montgomery. What would you like to add to the fold here for us?
First off, I think I have 3 pick'ems right now based on some of the specials I dropped today, and all of them have the Brandon Cooks over, but fantasy points, so 695 fantasy points.
Nice.
We can pivot that one.
Yeah, it gives you some different ways to get there, whether it's a few more receptions or falls into the end zone once. I also love stacking that with over 20.5 fantasy points for Dak. Like, I think this is another spot where we think they're going to play from ahead. Maybe they run the ball a bunch, but like, I think it's more likely with the way they're playing right now, he just throws 4 touchdowns or something again. So I like that one. The one I'll roll with for the pick'em. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna throw 2 ideas out there and engage you guys. Zach Charbonnet higher 19.5 receiving yards from a losing game script.
No Ken Walker. Okay.
He had 6 for 22 last game, and then even as a backup, he had 4 for 18 the week before against Washington. So the other one is Breece Hall, 3.5 receptions higher. I think they threw him 5 receptions last game, then 3 and 4 the 2 before that. But I think with them kind of switching to Tim Boyle, we could just see like a lot more design screens. And even in those games, I remember because he's on my high stakes fantasy team, but he had like 4 receptions called back by penalty like the last few weeks too. So they're throwing him like a ton of screens. Yeah, I would say Breece is probably like my higher lean. But if we're doing Thursday, let's go Charbonnet receiving yards.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like the sharp shout. I like the game script narrative. I like the fact that he's playing a shit ton, and now we definitively have the D tag on Ken Walker plus the Thursday angle. But here's everybody's free nugget here from Crutches is the higher on the Breece 3.5. He's been watching the tape and knows that those penalties have been called back in recent weeks. He should have more there. So we'll use the Sharps one for the official pick'em, which I think we can just go ahead and build right now, Nez, because it's time. It is
also,
definitely
if you want to do the sharp third leg onto that for EV sakes, I have an absolute puke pick'em for you to attach to that, and that is Tim Boyle over 8 fantasy points.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you go Boyle 8 plus the Breece Hall 3.5.
Wow.
8 seems like so damn low.
8.
Like, I think I could get 8 fantasy points out there.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito just threw 3 touchdown passes. Why can't Tim Boyle, who has, and no disrespect to my man Tim Boyle, has not a single good stat line that you can Google to his name right now. Why not a little Tim Boyle 8 fantasy points?
I like it.
Hey,
Okay.
if you check his game log, he's got two like 15, 20 fantasy point games in starts. He hasn't started in like 2 years.
That has to be preseason.
That was
no. It was regular season with when he was with the Lions. It was like weeks 15 and 16.
When Goff got hurt, I remember that because I had to pick
I
him
remember
up in my 2
absolute
QB.
stinker.
I had to pick him up in my 2 QB because I punt QB every single year and I'm left with no QBs every year. We're starting AOC this week, boys. Let's go. Okay, we got Sharps. We got I hope we didn't get mushed here. But it feels so gross to click the lower on CMC. But we're sticking with Oaks here. Oaks knows, man. Oaks knows. He knows ball. Then we decided the Brandon Cooks one. We could do the receiving yards, or we could do. You think we should officially pivot to the fantasy points here?
I mean, yeah, I'm rolling fantasy points. Like I think who was in the chat earlier had a good point. He hasn't hit his receiving yards a bunch. My counterpoint to that is that I think they were figuring out their wide receiver situation kind of. As someone who dropped him in the main FFPC main, like after a few weeks, I think they're figuring out that he's kind of the 2 above Gallup and stuff. So it's kind of this he's kind of the number 2 now, and I think he's settled into the offense. So I think it's more of a recency bias thing. I'm willing to roll with that. But yeah, I think his touchdown equity is pretty high just based on their chances of scoring a ton of points. So I think the fantasy points gives him a floor on receptions as well. So
like it. Okay, let's pivot that one on Clay's behalf because I know what the 5th leg of this is going to be. and Nez has no say in the matter, and it goes in lockstep with Clay as well. So I'll ask you, Nez, what would you like to add to this last one after the 14.5 gets added in here for the David Montgomery? What would be the fifth thing you would consider adding?
Well, I thought it's not going to matter because you're gonna trump
It's
me.
not, but I'm being a nice, mindful host and treating you with the respect in which you deserve as the Pick'em King. I need you to tell me what
It would be
you
Jordan
like
Love passing yards.
Okay, well that correlates with the correct play,
Which is
Tucker Kraft, dude. All right, you want Jordan Love passing
it's
yards?
Kraft. It's Kraft. It's got to be Kraft, man. The correlation you laid out for us with the craft beer, your dog, your good Mr. Good Boy Tucker, your complimentary remarks on Tucker himself. It's got to be Kraft.
Let's do it.
This is
Tucker
the
Kraft,
definitive.
the definitive 27.5 confidence interval, 15 USD. I'm going to go ahead and share that. That is the brain power of all the guests. What just happened?
There it is. Little processing power.
The brain power of all the guests. And I will be on the record as to say that if you think I'm going to lose this one for you, I'm not. Because Clay threw out that play, right? Clay threw it out. So this is all the sharp players' plays. This does not have a single one of my play.
You have an out. You have an out.
You have it. I gotta get a jail free card here.
I'll
go ahead.
I'll go on record saying I hate the Kraft over. So there's your one anti person.
And that's a big deal because you're
no.
Well, go ahead, John.
Well, I was about to say that's a good thing, Crutches, because we don't play overs around here. We play hires, and we're on the higher, my friend. So it's different. It's completely different.
Well, I was going to say that's bad news because Crutches is all over the Packers from a preseason standpoint. So if he's not on Kraft, then that does kind of spook me, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna tail because I'm a man of the show.
Yeah, your guys' best ball chat had me juiced. I'm excited. I might flip Ez's advance rate by end of season. So
whoa, yeah. I like to hear that. So did you? Okay, let's talk about BBM for 1 second. You 150 that one, Crutches?
Yeah, I had it thrown out. So I had 149, and then I yelled at Rudman for like a day until he gave me some underdog credit for an apology.
That's so good. Okay, so you got 149, and then so what is your current advance rate? How many you got going through?
I think I have 41 teams right now.
Wow,
man, you guys are good.
Fucking guys are so sharp, man. Should we just quit the show and let these guys go? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean. I got nothing. I got nothing to give to these people. 40%, like these advance rates are just fucking absurd.
That's mind you, this is why I'm excited though. I have my highest exposure players, 35% Jaden Reed, 28% Jalen Warren. Then I have a bunch of pump tight ends, one of them being Luke Musgrave, Hunter Henry, who knows if they ever do anything, but 26% Brian Robinson, 22% Dalton Schultz, and I think like 20% Taysom Hill. So like just all late tight ends basically.
Guys on the climb. You're absolutely on the climb right now. The Stairmaster is on full speed going uphill right now with those teams.
I'm hoping Kyler's back. I have 20% Marquise Brown, 20% Zay Flowers, and Deontay Johnson. Eckler, if he ever does anything, I have like 20%. That's like one of my misses. So we'll see.
Man, Eckler might be still hurt. Like he just doesn't look the same. Everyone hanging out still in the chat, man. Appreciate you guys still being here. This has been a marathon. It's been a fun one. It's been a long one. We're like 2 hours and a bit here. But I gotta say what up to our guy Chris G, wishing us a happy Thanksgiving to the BadgeBros.
Shout out,
Appreciate
Chris.
You, man. Look forward to hanging with you in Miami in 2 weeks there. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. And in the chat, I just dropped this is the official definitive final edition of it. We dropped a couple of the mixtapes in the middle, and this is the fucking album boom at the end right here. We just dropped that album. So there's the official one. Crutches agrees with all of it except for one, and I'm going to take the heat on that. Let's jump into Dog Bowl.
I'm with copper prices on that one. I'm all over Jaden Reed. He's not quite a scroll down, but he's my
he feels so good
on
in the turkeys. He feels amazing. He's there every time, and it just the way he's being used just feels so incredible compared to the rest. I'm gonna use the restroom one last time before we dive into this dog bowl.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's necessary.
See.
Here we go. Oh, so you jumped in as well. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to ask your opinion on anything.
I've been sitting in the lobby for like an hour. It just hasn't been filling because the NBA lock.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got you. We got we're playing the hits out here. We got copper prices. We got you in here. We got T-Box.
That's the first one I've seen him hop in. Chip.
There you go. Roofing man, Chip. Love to see it. All right, this is a fun one.
This is my favorite spot to draft from probably like 1.5-ish, right around here.
Yeah. So you were obviously talking of the Allen stuff. Is this a spot where you've been pushing up and taking Allen?
Oh, I'd take Allen 1-1. Like, yeah.
Oh, so you're literally you're all in right now. You're looking 80% exposure on Josh Allen right now.
Yeah, I have so through 28 drafts, I'm 46% Josh Allen.
Okay.
So I have a lot. I've mixed in some digs in the top 3 because my thought is if he goes nuclear, like obviously Diggs is most likely to go with him. It's more about like who separates more. Does the quarterback separate more and Josh gets like 35 plus and like all the other quarterbacks are like low 20s and then you need Josh Allen, that like 13-point gap? Or is it like, you know, Diggs goes like 12, 120 and 2 for like 31 fantasy points and you need that score. And like, let's just say, you know, Desmond Ridder gets like 24 fantasy points at home and you know, Allen goes for 30, then you don't really need that gap. So I don't want to be completely out on Diggs, but I'm not really on AJ Brown. Tank Dell, I'm going to have like probably close to 0 of at cost. And Jalen Hurts, I like if Allen's gone. I'm just like 0% Patrick Mahomes, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Sacrilegious in here as well. Took Jalen Hurts at 2 there. Mike C, man. This Mike C guy's been everywhere recently. Mike C.
Yeah, he's got some interesting draft strategies. Let's just say that. But
there you go. You doxed your play, and Josh Allen goes 103 right there.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like I said, I'm not at all like I don't tilt at all when people take Josh Allen because like otherwise I'd have 80%. So I know I'm not that smart. So I love Jonathan Taylor. I love Diggs. And honestly, Puka, he's been kind of down. But if Stafford plays and Kupp doesn't play, Puka is kind of a smash there. So
yeah, no fear of like Kyron Williams coming back and being like the focal point kind of deal.
Yeah, I love Kyron. I think he's going to shoot up after like ETR drops too. I'm sure they'll have like him and Josh Jacobs is really cheap right now. James Conner is really cheap right now. All those guys have been clicking. But I think Puka he'll be fine. I have
no idea who to click. I'm not going to lie.
I think Dell is fine. Like I said, it's just, yeah, I mean, ETN, I'm not sold on him this week. So I think Dell's like not a bad click there. It's just, when he gets pushed up to like 1-3, it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and it opens the door with like a little easy stack on the wrap back if Trout falls to Jamar Chase's ADP is obviously interesting from a talent standpoint. We saw him score last week too with Jake Browning. I don't think Browning's a very good quarterback. Browning's the only reason that
the path for Chase is like, remember the game when I think there was like a must-win game on like Monday night and Burrow was still hurt with his calf and he just got like 14 targets out of the slot, like just catching 4 balls. That's how he gets there. It's going to be like 15 targets, 11 catches for like 80 yards and a touchdown. Like PPR absolute scam kind of week for him. So
right. Yeah, no, that's a good shout for sure, which is definitely range of outcomes, right? But that Pittsburgh defense, man, like they get after the quarterback in a big way. Like there's a couple like good defensive fronts that get after the quarterback in a big way, and they're obviously one of them. Like that could just be another ugly game, just like we saw last week versus the Browns, right?
Yeah, I think it's also just tough, and you'll get a better feel having gone through it. But I think wide receiver late, I actually kind of like some of the picks. So like I'm generally trying to get a tight end and a quarterback early, ideally. And there's a couple quarterbacks I don't mind late, but I'm going to have a very, very small pool. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna click the purple tab here and take a look here. There's like, I mean, if Jake Browning is like QB 10, you're pretty spot on just in terms of like the depth at the position and pushing up Josh Allen and stuff.
This week has been weird because the initial like ADP setting contest had some really weird ones. So like Darnell Washington was getting drafted over like, you know, Kate Otten and stuff like that. So it took a while to adjust because people would go on auto and then just like take them kind of. So like it's finally starting to adjust, but I honestly think Jake Browning is one of those. Like I don't think people are like really clicking him on purpose.
Right.
Like, I mean, like I'd rather click like Will Levis, Tommy DeVito, like all these guys probably over him. Like why is Russell Wilson behind him? Like it's Cleveland, but like it's give me Russell Wilson. Like I think probably the best click back there right now, if you like get iced out completely, is Derek Carr, and you just swap to Jameis, and you kind of hope you swap to Jameis, but Derek Carr's fine too. So
I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try.
I assume you're pushing redacted quarterback around.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try our best. There's two quarterbacks going on the first side.
Yeah, quarterback is super room dependent because those mid-tier quarterbacks all the way down to Baker, I would say, like it's really room dependent. Sometimes they'll go like mid-second round, and other times they'll, you know, go end of the round 3. So yeah, it kind of really depends. This is usually a Pittman spot for me, and I'm usually correlating it with like Rachaad White or something later.
Okay.
I'm a little tempted to click Swift here because I think dealing with an ankle issue. I didn't see that. He's limited. Probably not a big deal. I just think Pittman is like an absolute smash against that defense.
Like it. Yeah, and it gives you an out at quarterback too.
Yeah, I think Minshew is probably one of the better late quarterbacks. He's definitely in my pool. And then you also have a chance to double it later with Josh Downs, who's coming back. So I'm pretty excited to see what he does. But definitely a nice range of outcomes on him for a somewhat free pick. He's going sometimes late 4th, sometimes like early 6th. It just kind of depends.
It's crazy to see Derrick Henry. Like, I mean, you see Kyron go there, which is fine because the Arizona matchup's nice and it looks like he's going to be on track to return. But like, it's kind of crazy to see Derrick Henry in like such a good matchup. We've been like, hey, attack on Carolina. We see Tony Pollard finally get home with a touchdown last week against that Carolina defense. Like they had some returnees last week, the safety and Burns came back last week, so maybe it's a little bit better than we're giving it credit. But it's just wild to see that matchup and like Derrick Henry still available in like the 3rd round and stuff. People have just soured that much on him, right?
I have a weird take. I DM'd this to Sacrilegious or someone earlier. I actually think Derrick Henry, even at this cost, is a trap pick. Like,
wow, okay.
It's just so obvious. It's almost a comfortable click where you're like, bounce back spot. It's kind of like clicking Pollard with like this amazing matchup, all this stuff. But like he had in London, he had like that 75-yard run that gave him like an 18-point week or something. So he's had like a couple good weeks. But I mean, Tajay Spears is stealing a lot of work. Their offensive line is absolute like garbage. Carolina is like terrible against the run. So like I agree, it all sets up well, but it's like, why would I not just click Pacheco like around later against Vegas or something? I don't know. I'm not sold on him in that range. And I also would like happily click Olave, Ridley. I think Thielen's a great pick. Reich is calling plays again and he gets more volume, it seems like, with him versus Thomas Brown. And he like still had a decent floor game last week, 11 targets against Dallas. Like I'll take him against Tennessee all day long, who's typically been a pass funnel. So, you know, Nico Collins is there, Kyler, like you get the end of the elite tight end tier. Like I'm not going to find myself to Derrick Henry much.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah. Just interesting to how it's like when you just look at it at the surface, it's like, holy shit. You think Cooper Kupp plays this week? Didn't practice today. I mean, Cooper Kupp in that matchup feels like a smash click right now, but I think it's pretty thin and trending in the wrong direction. No?
Yeah, I agree. I think, he got your Kyler there.
Dang.
Yeah, this is probably, I don't have much Swift, but at 29 ADP, this seems like an absolute smash in the game correlation. I'm usually like a Thielen person around here. I have a couple Kupp shares, typically like when I get locked out at receiver by going early double running back or quarterback tight end. I'll take Kupp, but I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm not sure he plays either. How far have you seen him slide?
He started the week in like around 21 ADP or maybe late teens. So he went to 25 and now he's at 30. So I've got some with him a little bit higher when he was like maybe at 30 and like I thought that was a value when he was like a 21 ADP. I think I've seen him go maybe to 40 in one. But yeah, it really depends on the room. I think somebody who's like has a stacked room elsewhere, I think it's a good like risk to take on him. But I'm probably fairly out just because who knows how effective he's going to be. And he hasn't had like a massive spike week recently anyway. So, it's kind of the narrative of like old guy recovering from an injury. How effective is he going to be? So, I've got a lot of Cooper Kupp best ball bags. That's I was clicking him 1-2 a decent amount above Tyreek even. That's like my one mistake really. Even though I kind of mixed them together. I took them over Jamar Chase a decent amount. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's like, in hindsight, maybe it's a mistake over like Tyreek and Chase. I don't know. We've just seen such legendary seasons from him for like 2 straight years. Like, sure, there was the injury at the end of the second one, but like, man, just the volume was insane. And we had no idea Puka was going to be as good as Puka's been. I don't know. Like, maybe it's a mistake to just take like a guy who's 5 or 6 years older over what we deem generational talent in Chase, and then just slight break ceiling of Tyreek week over week. Maybe it's bad to take Cooper Kupp over that, but I don't know if you call it a mistake.
No, I have no issues with the process. I think one thing people don't talk about because like he's having an absolute legendary season, but like Tyreek Hill isn't young, and speed guys typically have issues with hamstrings and soft tissue injuries more than other people. And Kupp doesn't win on speed. He wins on routes and middle of the field stuff. So I honestly thought that like, not that
profile age is better, right?
Yeah, I can't predict injuries, but like I think Hilo talked about this a lot too. If you follow him from 1 week season and stuff, he was basically like 40% Kupp with the early drafts when he was like 1.6, 1.7 because like, yeah, his range of outcomes are like wide receiver 1 overall and like on the good side. So I think he made sense, but you can tell this is a somewhat sharp room because Kupp is just absolutely free falling here.
Yeah, very much so. I think I might drink the Kool-Aid on this pick here. Kupp goes there.
What Kool-Aid are we sipping on?
I think it's the Jalen Warren one. I like what Nez was selling. I like what you were selling earlier. I do think the career arc could end up resembling that of like Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
I kind of set myself up for a Will Levis thing now as a secondary out.
You can definitely pivot. There's a guy I like too, so I'm probably not going to name him, but
yeah,
there's a couple late guys that you can stack with a late receiver or tight end. So
yeah, I jumped the gun on the Trey McBride thing, and now I kind of left myself. I in a room like this, in a contest like this, I wouldn't normally take tight end that early.
This is a pretty late spot for Evan Ingram to fall to. I don't find myself on him much, but this is the tier of like ugly receiver. Like Marquise hasn't done a ton, and Rashee Rice is like hanging around because people are clinging to his like rational coaching assumption, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're happy to roll Justin Watson out there for routes and stuff. So I'm not sold on Rashee Rice. I think his ceiling is more like 8 for 80 and a touchdown than like 10 for 120 and 2 based on route participation.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing with not to go the Rice way, but to go the Ingram way is like, you got to think positive touchdown regression's coming at some point, right? With just like the amount of looks that he gets in general. I know they haven't been there in the red zone necessarily and the ADOT's low, but like you got to think something positive is going to break his way, right? Especially this game environment.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to turn out. I mean, he's a low ADOT guy. That's like his role for the most part. But I also think that like specifically in this room, like to get him at 44 as a 31 ADP guy is like pretty insane value. And I think it's because a lot of people are thinking the same thing. Like typically I'm on a lot of like Otten, like 6th round early on, but I'm fine taking them in the late 4th now if I need to. So I think like, yeah, for this week specifically, it might be one of those weeks like when Sobe won, where it's like half a point from your tight end. As long as you hit your other stuff, you're fine. Like it's such an ugly week that it's really just, I think, late about finding a decent mid projection, like medium projection guy. So I love Otton late. Oh, the one scroll down I was going to say that I think is like a little bit overlooked, and I think it's a flatter tight end tier. Is the very back end. You're looking at Hunter Henry, Higbee, Pat Freiermuth. I think is a decent like upside play coming back from the injury. I think it's Michael Mayer. Like he's on a consistent, steady rise as far as snap share. He's been over 70% or around there the last like couple weeks. And you also have the change in coaching staff where they're not scared to like play these young guys and give them a chance, I feel like. So if you look at Austin Hooper, he started the season around like 50-60% snap share, and he's at like 28-30% now. And it's kind of Michael Mayer's show for the most part. So yeah, you're going to probably need him to fall into the end zone, but that's basically all of these tight ends here. I think Hunter Henry is like the other favorite one there, but I think Pat Freiermuth, like, yeah, he played Cleveland and he's also coming back from injury, so snap share is low, but you're kind of wish casting a higher snap rate for him. And you're also kind of wish casting like, you know, them to feed him. And like, yeah, there's a new coaching staff and I hate Matt Canada and I'm glad he's gone. But like, I think if they're talking like, who do we need to get involved? It's Jaylen Warren, it's Deontay, it's George Pickens, like, and then in like fourth is Pat Freiermuth, right? Or maybe it's Najee fourth too. Like, so I don't think like he's the greatest pick. And then Pitts, I'm just not finding myself a ton on with Ritter there. I mean, he's obviously like, he can always break the slate. I mean, we've wish casted him for years now, but yeah, if I think if I'm full punting tight end, like grab Michael Mayer, like he's going to be playing from behind most likely. They're going to be passing the ball, and Aiden O'Connell is like better, you know, for fantasy than Jimmy Garoppolo was. So why not?
Fair. Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind that at all. It's a pretty good bull case for Michael Mayer. I'm looking at some of these back stacks here right now. I got two in mind.
Yeah, I won't mention his name until you're on the clock because there's two guys that need QBs here. I'm taking Gardner Minshew here. This is pretty good value. Sometimes I'll take him in like the fourth round, but yeah, once you're on the top, I'll say. I'm surprised Baker's fallen this far too, not to blow up anyone's spot, but
Godwin's still out there too.
What's that?
Godwin's still out there too. I didn't see him go.
Let's see what Chipsy does here, because you can backstack Baker pretty easily with Godwin. Like obviously he's not the alpha there, it seems like, but okay. So I think my favorite late guy, and I talked to Andy about this too, is Desmond Ridder with Drake London.
That was one of mine. So Drake London and Desmond Ridder was one. The other one was Cortland Sutton and Russ.
The nice thing about it though is that if you took Ridder first, let's say you're worried about a quarterback going, Ridder falls to the London falls to the last round a lot, and then you have the options of either tight end. So like you can just grab Ridder first, and then not get sniped on him.
Well, I fucked that one up and took London first there because I had the opposite mindset that like Ridder's just like quarterback 15 and wouldn't go. But I only got a fade quarterback on one guy on this side of the board, so probably shouldn't be an issue. But
yeah, it's gonna be tough. So he has Bijan, who's a receiving back, and he needs a tight end, so he's probably going to go Ridder if I had to guess.
Classic. Yeah.
I think one second ago. I lost my train of thought there.
I got an out though. Like I could just, if he goes that train of thought and whatever. I was just looking at the board just in terms of like what was available. Oh, he went Taysom.
Sacrilegious has clicked him a couple times too. I cannot get behind the Galbraith Taysom play. I feel like his ceiling is like a quarterback's like mid-range outcome, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the thesis is with no Michael Thomas going on IR, blah, blah, blah. Now he's all of a sudden running more routes, something like that. I mean, I did it twice in like a couple weeks ago when there were injuries and that sort of thing, but yeah, there's certain slates where it looks ideal and certain slates where it looks fishy. And I don't know. Pairing him with Olave feels weird too. Because I think if they don't go to Carr and like that Carr Q tag is legit or whatever, I think it's Jameis Winston. I don't think it's Taysom.
Yeah, I think I like to shout. I'm just like I would be totally in on him as a tight end, like on Redacted or something this week, and like be super over the field. Like he's probably going to be way more involved. But I think Derek Carr, he's fully practicing. So like I don't know what the holdup is on clear concussion, but I'm guessing he will. Like that's my lean.
Especially coming out of a bye. If it was like a normal week, it might be a different story.
And I think Sacrilegious made a really good point on ship chasing that if Jameis was in there, I could see them pulling him in the red zone for Taysom because like they don't want him just gunslinging in the red zone when they have a chance to score. So like he's almost like the between the 20s QB, and then like let's bring Taysom in to like manage the offense near the red zone. But I think if Carr plays, you have this like downside scenario of like, okay, Taysom's package is shrinking, as Denny Carter would say. The other interesting shout, as you say, I'm going to give is Desmond Ritter's road home splits are insane. Desmond Ridder this season, even excluding his injury games, is like a 20 fantasy point per game guy at home and a 9 fantasy point guy per game on the road.
Interesting.
Like I don't know how much signal there is to that, but I'm pretty sure isn't there some stat even going back to college where he had won like 30 consecutive home games or hadn't lost a home game until this year.
I recall hearing something along those lines.
All right, this is typically Deontay range for me, but I'm touting him now, so he's going. I think,
and so did Douglas. They both went.
I think Noah Brown is not practicing, which is scary. George Pickens, I don't mind for the swap equity and just hope that they use him correctly. I think Jacoby Myers is a fine click here, but typically I'm George Pickens here and just hope they don't only run him on back shoulder fades this week.
Yeah, from a talent standpoint, it feels like a good bet in this range.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Rashee Rice was probably the right click there. I wasn't really super paying close attention, but I think at that point, Rashee Rice's like median outcome is good enough to take at that point. But yeah, I probably wouldn't take Rice before the last round.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm looking at some of these other like levers you could pull, like the Tutu Atwell one, like maybe direct beneficiary. There feels good, man. The Justin Watson focal point in the offense with the routes he's been running, like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's tough because you can get like Cortland Sutton's been on a heater kind of, but then he's facing Cleveland, so it's like, do you want to just play a good receiver into a bad matchup,
right?
Or do you want to bet on injury stuff? Like you said, if Kupp doesn't play, like Tutu Atwell is probably a fringe like wide receiver 3, and at this point in the draft is like a really good pick. I think Amari Cooper is interesting if he gets fed targets, but like is Dorian Thompson Robinson any good and like for fantasy? And then 2, like, do you want to buy into his home road splits? He's on the road now. So
Cooper
there's a lot of interesting things around here. Zay Jones like always has a ceiling, I would say.
So Granson goes there. Sacrilegious took Rondell Moore. Interesting stuff here. Like it's weird. Amari's still there. Rashee Rice is still there for Roofing Man. I'm looking at thinking through some other angles here, like Javonte Williams. Like I know that like Cleveland hasn't given up anything on the ground until last week, and then it was basically one huge Jaylen Warren play, blah blah blah. But like Javonte, like just from a talent standpoint, on this slate available, like his usage has just ticked up over the last 5 weeks there.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing I was going to say. Like Cleveland is an insanely scary defense, but they're more scary against quarterbacks and receivers than they are running backs. My only issue with his ceiling or floor there is that last week they reverted to a bunch of passing game usage for Samaje Perine and Jaleel McLaughlin. So, he gets two catches and 11 like targets or 11 carries. Like he's going to probably have to get there on efficiency. I think that if I had to click a play like in the undrafted range, it's probably Chuba Hubbard. But then like that same thing there is that Miles has been getting more carries again.
Yeah, they went back the other way. That pendulum flipped back last week with Miles.
If I think there was one guy who could like maybe not bury you, but like complete Galbrain, probably hasn't been taken a single time, it's actually Tajay Spears against Carolina. Because like if you want a true John Galbrain, that's the play. Because if you want to bet that their defense is terrible against the run, and he's getting 4 catches a game or something, plus like 5 carries plus like more if he's really good, and he's obviously explosive, like that's kind of the one ceiling play, like super, super, super deep if you really wanted to just get off the board.
I mean, that's just playing into like the other angle of the Henry stuff we talked about early. One could be a trap, one could be the leverage, right?
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, if you consider like Derrick Henry chalky in this sense, right? Then like the other play, and if you do think that like the run game gets there against Carolina, what if they just go hot hand and he breaks like a 30-yard touchdown right to start the game, and they're like, all right, let's get this guy 10 carries and we'll give 10 to Derrick Henry. So I think it's in play if you really wanted to get like super off the board. But me, I'm pretty boring, so I stay within my ADP range.
Yeah, the other one I was looking at was Zay Jones, like just like another contrarian path to that same game environment. I mean, maybe it's a little too far. Maybe like Ernest Johnston's a little too far too. But if you look at like just one of the highest totals and one of like the contrarian angles to that same game environment, I don't know. It's kind of like, what do you win when you win Zay Jones though? I mean, maybe you need
I think Zay Jones is super in play. Yeah, I think he's like one of the few guys back there with like an actual ceiling. Like he could easily, like they seem to like him around goal line too. So I think there's just times where you draft Trevor Lawrence and you think you can get either like Christian Kirk or Ridley around the turn. And like sometimes I've seen people just double them up for no reason. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to like take Zay Jones in the 6 now because I want some correlation to Trevor because he's not going to get there all in rushing. So I don't think that's a bad play at all. Like I think he's definitely live for like a 2-touchdown game more than like a Jacoby Myers would be, right? Like Jacoby Myers has a higher floor probably, but I think Zay Jones is a perfectly fine play.
Nice. All right, let's wrap it up there, Crutches, man. Thank you for joining us. We got tons of stuff going on in the chat. It's hard to do everything with the old chatting through and scrolling the chat and blah blah blah. Sacrilegious saying that at the end there he's randomizing between Moore, Dortch, Watson, and Rice. Yeah, that seems super viable. Those were kind of some of the names we were naming at that back end too. Oh, and then to the Taysom ceiling point, it's only in play where they're playing from ahead. That makes sense.
Final plug for Underdog here. Turkey is at 85% right now. It seems like in Discord they're saying it's filling super quick. So get your turkeys in if you want to get the main slate turkey contests in.
Good shout, man. Good shout. Who's your favorite scroll the F down in the turkey then?
I think, like I said, I'm hammering Jaden Reed, but I don't know if that counts as a scroll down. Jaden Reed, Brandon Cooks are the two like low tier receivers I'm taking. If you needed like a true one, like let's say a couple people double at that tight end for some reason, like no offense, the bottom tight end I'll take. He's the most explosive guy there, and if he sees like 5 targets, he could get like 5 for 70 and be super efficient. So I think he's like in play. If you get completely locked out, and then I'm a Jameson hater, so his role is improving. So I think he's in play if you want to scroll down, but I'm just like not getting there. So
yeah, fair enough. I mean, the coach speak on it was kind of positive, where it's like, oh, he's bought in. Like Dan Campbell was saying, oh, he's bought in. He's part of the culture. Blah blah blah. Now, so it makes me think that like old school football head, maybe they'll do a little something to get him the ball more this week. But I'm kind of in lockstep with you there. I think the second time I've taken Jameson this whole turkey or whatever was the one that we just did on stream there. So yeah, I was feeling similar. I had Jaden Reed over the group there. I've taken Gallup one time, definitely not a Gallup truther there. His usage is trending the complete wrong direction. Going to get drunk now. Nice. All right, everybody enjoy Thanksgiving. Oh, Crutches, I had to ask you the last question. The 101 of Thanksgiving sides. What are you going with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go stuffing with gravy on it. That's probably the best thing there is.
That's a classic Crutches value pick, taking the best available right there on the board. The field passed it over, and you're coming for it.
That's why I think that's unironically why I'm good at NBA is just like I don't scroll down and I'm just like taking the best players, and it's so projectable that everyone else scalbrains and I just take their money. So
I love that, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Best of luck tomorrow in the turkey. Best of luck in the dog bowls to everybody else who's trying to qualify last week to do so. And we'll be down in Miami in 2 weeks. We'll see you then.
See y'all.
All right. Peace. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end.